line, screaming like a siren at night. Red and blue shouting, nobody's right. Smoke in the streets, truth under attack. Everybody's loud, nobody's got facts. Feeds keep scrolling, nerves stay tight. Matchsticks flicked in the dead of night. They sell fear, cheap package the lies, while the clock keeps ticking, empires on fire. Can't sit quiet while the world's on edge. Lines in the sand, standing on the ledge. No script, no leash, no polish, quiet. Just a voice in the dark and a spark to the wire. This is and I'll bring the fire. Gonna light it higher. No filter, no fear, I say it raw. Strike the match, let it burn through the fog. This is and I'll bring the fire. And I'll bring the fire. Everybody's selling truth like a brand, buying opinions they don't understand. Talking in circles, screaming online. Keyboard courage, borrowed spines. Yeah, power plays dressed up as peace. Same old wolves with different teeth. But silence is loud when the house is burning. And the fuse is short, yeah, it's still learning. I don't dance for the left or the right. I stand in the heat, I stand in the fight. No strings, no chains, no manufactured choir. Just gasoline thoughts and an open lighter. This is and I'll bring the fire. Gonna light it higher. No filter, no fear, I say it raw. Strike the match, let it burn through the fog. This is and I'll bring the fire. And I'll bring the fire. The world's on tilt, pressure climbing. Truth don't whisper, it's perfect timing. You can't cancel the smoke, you can't stop flame. Say my name when it hits, say my name. Why? Say my name. Say my name. Fire don't ask permission. Fire don't need a side. Fire just shows up honest and exposes the lie. This is and I'll bring the fire. Truth is harder. Burn it down till what's real survives. No smoke, no mirrors, just heat and lies. And I'll bring the fire. And I'll bring the fire. American fire. Strike it. Let it speak.
What's up, guys? Tuesday afternoon. Well, noon, to be honest. 9 o'clock West Coast. What's going on, everybody? I'm glad to join you here, your morning, noon time slot. So much going on. Donald Trump erupted last night on Truth Social, so we have a lot to go through. I got to believe things are about to ramp up based on everything he posted. Obama's got to be sweating today. I got to tell you, sweating today. And on top of that, we got Thomas Massie bombshell allegations coming out about an affair. So we got a massive grifter report. On top of that, the Supreme Court just handed us another massive win, getting up for the midterm. So guys, and there's more Iran updates, all kinds of stuff going on today. So gonna do our best to break it down, get you guys ready for the day, understanding today's news, what's going on in MAGA land, FAGA land, all the lands. The United States winning the war against deep state, cabal, city of London, whatever you want to call it, Democrats, all that stuff. We're breaking it down, and good things are everywhere. Good things are happening if you just know where to look. So welcome. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. We're going to get started here in just a couple minutes. Thank you all for watching. Let me get into the Chizat, see who's here. Look at these beautiful people. We got on Rumble today. We'll start on Rumble today. Got None Your Business contributing a $10 donation. Says, just contributing. Have a nice day. Rant on. I will. Thank you. I appreciate it. Very much so. All right, we got Sebastian Chose. Let's go. Aiden Scotland, R. Will, MF Easy. What's up, brother? Smokehouse, John M. Miamin, Nick Majors, MFN Tango, Alice Fordham, Teslin Joe, Mark Maddox, Kim Wiley's in the house, Oscar Andres Morales, Z Grooms, what's up, buddy? Frick Anastasio, Pat MJ Gomez, Scott Volkovich, Jack Hamilton. All right. I am doing well, my friend. How are you doing? J Tyrus, Feisty Granny's here. Don't mess with her. Gen X Maga, Dad Bod Todd. Dad Bods Unite, my friend. Job for 9, AK Downrange. What's going on? AC USA, the one. What to do, friend? AK Downrange. Tammy Anderson, how we doing today? George Papa Nicola and Threads of Hera. Moody Waters. What's up, Moody? Good to see you. Are you excited, Moody, about Alberta voting for independence? Barefoot by DC. We got Michael Boyle. Shogun. How's it work, brother? You lying about those numbers again and your accountant job? Listen, love you guys. Appreciate you. I can't call everybody. We'd be doing this all day. But if you make that top 20, 25 every day, I'll be sure to shout you out. I already got a super chat coming in, though, so definitely got to call this out. Super chats are guaranteed to be read. We got Smokehouse with the $20 donation, says, buy some Zebek tokens with this. The gift that keeps on giving. What? Zebek? All right, I'll look into it. Zebek. That's a new one. I haven't heard that one, but seems like lots of people liking the new time slot. I appreciate that. Always nervous making a change. For those who don't know, I used to stream late nights after my job and hanging out with my family. So now I get to be with you beautiful people during the daytime. And I gotta say, I don't know what to do with all this energy. It's what's being rested like. It's so crazy. Got people from Colorado. Listen, shout it out if you're new. Give us, let us know you're new to the show. We'd love to invite you in. This is the best chat community on YouTube, bar none. I'll put it up against anybody. They're the best, and there's a reason for that. One of the reasons is we got the best people, but the other reason is we actually keep the trolls out. We got amazing mods who don't let people do the crazy trolling, being jerks. We don't stand by that here. You know, we just don't. So if you're going to be in the chat it up. Get to know these people. Throw your questions, comments at me, your disagreements, as long as you're honorable, and we'd love to have you be a part of it. I do my best to read everything that's tagged me, but I do miss it. So if you do want to guaranteed, you just got to get it out there. Question, comment. There's always a super chat option, which I can guarantee you'll get those read. But other than that, I still do my best to get in the chat in between segments. So, but anyways, good to see you guys. Lots of the old great people in here, and love seeing you guys. DEI mods. Shogun, you're the only DEI mod. I had to fill out the Asian persuasion section. So, J-Man's Truth Seeker sent a gift over. Thank you very much. The GOAT trophy. I'll take it. I'll take a GOAT trophy. Not quite the GOAT yet, even though I'm honoring the GOAT by being in the old Rush Limbaugh time slot. And that's not me saying I am Rush Limbaugh or even close. He is the GOAT. But, the time slot was basically untaken by most streamers. So I was like, you know what? There's a spot I could fit in, and why not honor Rush by coming here? K24U today with the $10 super chat says, why? Because we like you, but now I don't have anybody to watch late night. What shall I do? You could sleep. You get caught up on your video games, watch the latest movie if there's any good ones out. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm sorry. I've been dealing with the same thing. The last 2 nights I usually stream, and I've been just like, what's happening? I don't know what to do with myself. I have all this time now, and it's really good, but I got to tell you, it's probably going to take a couple weeks to get used to it. I have lived on the edge of my energy for 3.5 years, just going, tapping myself out, getting to the point of exhaustion, and my body doesn't know what to do with it anymore. So I got to get used to this new life, but it's a better life. I'm going to keep doing it. The show, I have so many more ideas, so much more energy to put into it. So this will only get better. So tell your friends, let them know we're going, and bring them over if they want MAGA news, hopeful with a Christian perspective and a little bit of humor and fun and an amazing community. If they want all that, this is the place to be. So come on over to American Fire. We'll be, we'll bring it. Daniel says, you're the only one on YouTube who's optimistic these days. I can't not be optimistic. I just don't know how not to be, like I said, I'm a Christian. I don't believe you have the option of not being optimistic if you're a Christian. And I believe Donald Trump is one of the great leaders of our time. He's one of the most optimistic men alive. So I learned from his example as well. Rush Limbaugh, the greatest, you could say podcaster in these days terms, but he was the radio show host. Greatest to ever do it, was also one of the most optimistic. You learn from the greats. And I don't ever want to learn from anybody who's negative or quote unquote realistic. Realistic is lame. It's code language for a reason to be negative and pessimistic. That's what realistic is always a code for. My entire life, I've experienced that. So, a job for 9 with the $5 super chat says, "Keep up the great work." Thank you, sir. I will do my best. Okay, you guys ready? We're gonna get into it because today last night, I should say, Donald J. Trump blasted out Truth Social, and we're gonna go through a lot of this. There's a lot, and I'm not going to go through every single video clip he posted, but he put up 30 to 40 truths, they call them over there, and it's wild. He was absolutely putting Obama, the shadow government, this corruption, everybody who's gone against him, done these horrible things behind the scenes, the intelligence agencies, he put them all on blast last night. And it all started with this one where he posted Devin Nunes revealing about the transition and how they busted a lot of these intel operatives stopping or trying to stop Trump.
Good morning, or good afternoon, everyone. I recently confirmed that on numerous occasions, the intelligence community incidentally collected information about U.S. citizens involved in the Trump transition. Details about U.S. persons associated with the incoming administration, details with little or no apparent foreign intelligence value, were widely disseminated in intelligence community reporting. Third, I have confirmed that additional names of Trump transition team members were unmasked. And fourth and finally, I want to be clear, none of this surveillance was related to Russia or the investigation of Russian activities or of
Now, this is an old clip. All right, this is old, and a lot of the stuff on here is old. The point, though, is Trump blasting it all out at once. We're talking about the president of the United States, the most powerful man in the world, all of a sudden bringing all this attention to stuff at the same time. And Trump is the ultimate at messaging. Okay. Some call it 5D chess. Some call it, I don't know what else they call it. They call it all kinds of stuff, but as you can see, he just keeps going. And we have right here, bombshell exposed, Obama's coup plot unraveling, 20 CIA and FBI whistleblowers dropped the hammer. Barack Obama, a CIA puppet. It's actually the other way around. Obama is Brennan's puppet, but I digress. Brennan is the one who trained Obama, but still posting this. These are sites that a lot of people would consider, not mainstream, so they're not verifiable, they're not valid, and yet Trump, by posting them, is giving them validity. And so there's a lot here. Barack Obama and a CIA puppet, John Brennan, cooked up the entire Russiagate hoax to steal the 2016 election and throw a duly elected president. Doctored intelligence, weaponized deep state, launched hours-long witch hunt to destroy our movement. Up here, we have a breaking
Fox
news.
News alert, the director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, releasing a bombshell
Trump
report
reminding
today
us.
that shows a conspiracy by a sitting president, Barack Obama, and his intel agencies to sabotage the president-elect.
So this is from last summer, when Tulsi Gabbard dropped all this. Now, it's an 8-minute clip. I'm not going to play it all. Plus, most of us saw it last summer. But you see, Trump is building the narrative. He had to compile these, whether it was him or his team, and I was instructed to do so. They compiled all these and blasted them out at the same time. We got this one right here. 20 CIA and FBI agents dropped a political nuke on Obama, confirming him and CIA Director Brennan fabricated the Russia hoax. Sharing more. He also shared all of these. Cat turd, he shares. Arrest Obama, the traitor. Well, when you repost something, you're basically endorsing it. Again, what just happened? What did we just cover yesterday? Obama went to Canada to meet with Carney, took with him Slotkin, who is former CIA, and Buttigieg, Butterbutt, who is, I think he's their presidential hopeful. We'll see. Remember, Obama hates Kamala Harris. She's still currently the leader in their polling. Buttigieg is like third or fourth, and black voters hate Buttigieg because they don't like voting for gay people. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. He's got 0% approval with black voters, which you can't win a Democratic primary if that's true. Regardless, Obama just went up there to Carney, having this liberal secret strategy session, which is actually a City of London deep state strategy session. Why? Well, they just got that terrible news from Virginia. They're not going to get those seats. Trump just showed MAGA is energized and strong because of the Indiana primaries and Ohio primaries. Just absolutely blasted them. The Democrats had their worst week in a long time last week. And then Obama drifts up to Canada to meet with his handlers, to meet with his bosses, to figure out how are we going to get through this. And then one day after Obama's up there, Trump posts all this. Guys, this is not coincidence. It's not coincidence at all. And then on top of that, with the Russiagate stuff, Trump posts all this on election fraud.
Election systems across the U.S. are found to have deleted millions of votes cast for President Trump. According to an unaudited analysis of data obtained from Edison Research, states using Dominion voting systems may have switched as many as 435,000 votes from President Trump to Joe Biden. Now, the author also finds another 2.7 million Trump votes appear to have been deleted by Dominion.
Where are a lot of these servers? Venezuela. Who's in custody right now? Maduro. Again, interesting timing. Edison Research confirms states using Dominion voting systems switched 435,000 votes from Trump to Biden. Deleted 2.7 million Trump votes nationwide. We have one of the whistleblowers with Rudy, who, God rest his soul, is healthy now.
I've not seen the tapes myself, but we do not dispute that the tapes were not signed. It was a violation of the rule. Since 2020, again, we have new leadership and a new building and a new board and new standard operating procedures. And since then, the training has been enhanced. The poll watchers are trained specifically. They've got to sign the tapes in the morning and they've got to sign the tapes when they're run at the end of the day. When the tapes come back to the hub for, with all the documentation, they are checked again. And if somebody forgot to sign a tape, then Fulton initiates an investigation. But we don't dispute the allegation.
Does that sound convincing to you? Fulton County admits 315,000 2020 votes had no poll worker signatures. Giuliani was destroyed with $148 million in fines for challenging the election. Where did Tulsi Gabbard just go? Fulton County. Subpoenaed them, got all the records. We have this shared. Josh Dunlap. Kennedy publicly demanding Barack Hussein Obama return $120 million he allegedly earned through ownership related to Obamacare. Allocated money under his own laws using taxpayer-generated prestige, Kennedy said, calling it abuse of public office, blatant influence. Obama had 3 days to respond before Kennedy says the matter will be referred to DOJ. Nothing ethical or legal about this. Did you guys know that Obama had set himself up as basically a recipient of fees from Obamacare? How crazy is that? We all know he got rich off his presidency, but this is just a whole other level. He's posting Sidney Powell, which, you know, for all the people who said Sidney Powell was crazy, it's a pretty ringing endorsement to be shared by President Trump. More on Obama. Powell again. He shares the skiff. Sidney Powell blows the lid off stolen 2020 election. So much evidence. I mean, what have we been hearing? John Solomon has been reporting the conspiracy is getting unraveled. They're about to release the files. Kash Patel smiling when he's asked about by Sean Hannity if Hillary Clinton were going to see her stuff. If they haven't, he just smiles and said, I'll say stuff's coming. That smile I broadcast the other day. The election stuff coming out. There's a grand jury in Florida right now overseeing the election stuff. John Solomon's been reporting that Tulsi Gabbard's getting ready to release more on that. They went to Mariposa, collected everything. I think Trump is ready. This is about to happen. We've noticed Todd Blanche been going full steam ahead. Him and Cash been going full steam ahead since Bondi stepped down. Again, the ramp up. I still have people thinking that Bondi didn't do anything, that all of a sudden just by magic miracle she left. And then they had everything ready to go. Yeah, that's not how it works. She set up the investigations for 15 months, and now they are the attack dogs. But regardless, we're seeing it happening. This JFK Jr. account, Barack Hussein Obama wiretapping Trump Tower during 2016 election was a million times worse than anything Nixon did during Watergate. Time to arrest the renegade. What happened the other week, by the way? The Golden Tempo horse beat renegade in how crazy was that? What a prophetic sign that was. What Trump's doing here is he's sharing every little bit of piece of the puzzle that has been public. Every little piece. Obama did this, Brennan did this, the election fraud happened, Russiagate was a hoax, Obama's corrupt, got all this money, wiretapped him. It just keeps going. He brings Mark Kelly into it, which we talked about Mark Kelly yesterday.
They found out there's a massive depletion of U.S. munitions, including Tomahawks, ATACMS, SM THAAD missiles, and SM-3s, THAAD, and Patriot interceptors. Number one, that to me sounds totally irresponsible to say. What's your reaction?
Well, first of all, folks go into these classified briefings in order to inform generate situational awareness for themselves.
So Kelly, basically insubordination against our president, giving intel out, classified intel that could help Iran, embolden Iran. Pete Hegseth now investigating him for this. We got Mark Kelly's calls to resign or be expelled. Tulsi here talking about all this crap.
The troubling part about
There's
all
like
this
no
is it's
sound
not
on
even
that. Sorry.
people who we vote for. When you look at what happened when President Biden had that infamous debate with President Trump, it exposed the reality that many of us have known for a long time, which is that President Biden has not been the guy calling the shots. He has not been the guy making the decisions, nor has it been Kamala Harris, for that matter, nor will it be if she is elected president. It is this cabal of,
that's the word,
the Democrat elite, the woke warmongers, made up of the likes of Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama and Tony Blinken and Jake Sullivan and people who are in the military-industrial complex, people who profit from us being in a constant state of war.
People keep saying Tulsi is, they're terrified of her. And they keep saying that she's going to betray Trump or she's going to step down to run for president in 2028. And yet she was calling this stuff out even before becoming DNI. Okay, Director of National Intelligence. Before Trump got elected, before he positioned her, she's calling this stuff out. So what does that tell you? It tells you Tulsi's a true believer. She's a true believer. And just like RFK Jr., sometimes the former Democrats who saw the depths of the corruption within their own party, on their own side, how evil they've gotten, how corrupt, how awful, they become the best. Reminder from Gabbard last year, Joe Biden wasn't calling the shots, neither was Kamala Harris. Blinken, Sullivan, Deep State Cabal, this is what she was just saying. Sidney Powell again. Probation. We got more clips here.
Are you suggesting that
This
Obama's
is Ghana, which Trump just called out the other day? Again, all this last night. So you guys are probably thinking, like, in and of themselves, oh, we've seen all this. I know. I've been covering it for 3.5 years. I know we've seen all this. None of this is new. But what's new is Trump blasting it all out all at once right after Obama goes, reminding everybody, getting everybody's attention all over again. Don't forget. Hey, guys, don't forget. You know, the easiest thing to do for people who believe that the Trump administration is actually trying to hide all this, that they're actually not going to bring justice, they're not going to bring arrest. The easiest thing for Trump to do would be to withhold all this information, to hope you forget about it. It's the same like with the Epstein stuff when everybody's like, he's hiding the Epstein files. Everything just in there. It's redacted and we didn't get the real files. There's the Epstein class, the whole Thomas Massie BS. Well, then why did Melania come out and dare the people to come out and testify? Why did Thomas Massie never come forward with the information he has access to, and he can speak from the House floor without and fully liable from defamation suits and being sued? This is why you know they're fraudulent and that the people criticizing the Trump administration are wrong. You want to keep bringing it up. You would try to escape. You would create a distraction. That's what the Democrats do, and they're the kings of distraction. They're the kings and queens of oh, look over there, squirrel. You know, that's what they're very, very good at. The Trump administration, on the other hand, is like, they'd be the worst ever at it if they were trying to hide. Because you have, oh, nothing's going to happen. They're never going to figure this out. They're never going after Obama and Brennan. And, you know, I'll give up on the Trump administration because it's been 5 days they've been in office and they didn't arrest the whole world already. It's so stupid. It takes time to build these cases. It takes time to unearth everything. Do you realize that he came into a broken government that was completely designed just to keep them in power? It was completely designed to keep the fraud running, to keep money running to all their people and to destroy our country from within. It was designed to keep these people embedded in their positions in the deep state and the bureaucracy and the intelligence agencies so that they could always be psyoping us and using everything against us. They had built this out for decades. And the Trump's supposed to come in and fix it all in a month? It's only been 16 months, guys. We still have more than 2.5 years of the Trump administration left. And there's so much. They had to go in, they had to find all these files, dig them up, find them in burn bags, as Kash Patel's talked about. There's a whole lot that's going on behind the scenes. And these are clues. Trump sharing about Jack Smith. I believe that one's coming out eventually. Here's a Hannity clip.
3 of the 4 FISA warrants signed by James Comey himself. You had to verify the authenticity of it to sign off on it. And he signed 3 of the 4 of them. Fast forward a little bit. All of the people that signed every FISA warrant eventually went before Lindsey Graham. Yeah. All of them said, asked the question, knowing what we know now, would you ever sign that FISA warrant? Knowing what I know now, of course not. Right. But they knew at the time.
They did. They kept a spreadsheet. This is one of the big stories we broke on your show.
I remember.
Spreadsheet. They went through every sentence of the dossier. Right. 90% were either disproven, unverified, or unverifiable, meaning that there was no.
Absolutely wild stuff. Comey's going to go down. Why the FBI let Hillary Clinton off the hook. Here's a clip. It's a longer one. Obama, Clinton. Obama's conflict tanked the Clinton email investigation as predicted. So this is how they hid Hillary's emails. We got this breakdown: classified, top secret, high-level intel. Hillary Clinton sold America out. Obama ordered the cover-up. Obama ordered the DOJ to protect Hillary after she exposed top-secret special access programs on a private server. Comey covered it. FBI buried it. NYPD officers died trying to expose it. It's not a theory. It's treason. Trump's sharing this stuff. This is stuff that's been called conspiracy theory. Here's the money going to the Clinton Foundation for Haiti.
Hillary Clinton's Manhattan office. The demonstrators claim billions of dollars were stolen through the Haiti Reconstruction Commission headed by Bill Clinton. They also say Haiti was used as a cover for foreign governments to funnel kickbacks of possibly hundreds of millions of dollars through the Clinton Foundation. They say it was done in exchange for favors that Hillary was doing for them as Secretary of State. They say they want their message to get out so Americans won't vote for her if she runs for president.
They trafficked a lot out of Haiti as well. The Clinton Foundation is going to be one of the big dominoes to fall. How much evidence does the Justice Department need before making some arrests? Do better, DOJ. This is directed at Todd Blanche from just yesterday. And Trump writes, they are working hard. That's Trump covering for them, saying, hey, God, don't worry about it. Don't worry. We got this. Said they never applied the law in a fair and equal way, did they? When the hell are you going to indict her, Todd Blanche? We see Comey. We don't see Brennan. We don't see Hillary. We don't see Obama. It's time to see justice. Trump retruthing it. Here's some decay in the cities. Let's get back up, though, to the other stuff. All right, here we go. 2016 foreign election hoax with John Brennan. I got something good on Brennan here in a second, though. Let's watch this first.
Russia collusion hoax by asking foreign intelligence agencies to illegally spy on the Trump campaign.
Lucas Tomlinson in Washington with more. Lucas.
Good early morning, Carly and Todd. This report from Substack citing multiple unnamed sources claims the U.S. intelligence community asked foreign spy agencies to help spy on more than 24 associates of Donald Trump in the run-up to the 2016 election. It reads in part, quote, President Barack Obama's CIA director, John Brennan, had identified 26 Trump associates for the Five Eyes to target. A source confirmed that the IC had identified them as people to bump or make contact with or manipulate. They were targets of our own IC and law enforcement, targets for collection and misinformation. Now, the Five Eyes nations are the U.S., UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand.
Oh, hold on a second. Five Eyes. You guys notice something about Five Eyes? Can you say Commonwealth? Can you say City of London? UK, New Zealand, Canada, Australia are all Commonwealth countries. All of them. All directly under the control of UK and City of London. Why is the US in there? Because of our special relationship. Behind the scenes, we've been a Commonwealth nation, even though we didn't sign off on that. But that's exactly how they see us until Trump broke it. And this is why they were fighting back. They came together, used their intelligence, MI6, to come against our president, Donald Trump, get him out with Obama, with John Brennan, with James Comey, with our intelligence agencies weaponized against him. Once you see it, you can't unsee it, folks. People are like, China's our greatest enemy. No, they're not. They're an enemy. They're an adversary for sure. I'm not, anybody saying they're not is crazy. But they're not our biggest one. They're not the one most embedded in our system. They're not the one that makes us want to be, don't look over here. Don't look at us. Why is the deep state cabal, every time they keep deflecting to Russia, Russia is like, I'm not saying Russia's never run operations against us because that would be retarded to say as well. But Russia has been not much since the Soviet Union fell. They're not nearly as powerful as they used to be. So always the deflection to Russia. Russia's got its assets in it. This is Russian intelligence. This is Russian. No, you're looking at it right here. Hey, City of London, we see you. Hey, UK. NATO. Why Trump's trying to expose NATO and get out of it? Europe has been the one ever since World War II and maybe even going back. UK is not happy. The intelligence guys, the remnants of the British Empire, they're not happy we got away from them 250 years ago. And they've been abusing us, using us, taking our money. abusing our financial system, abusing the use of our military, wearing us down, weeding us out for decades. And again, once you see it, these are the guys who tried to get rid of Trump, not China or Russia. Interesting. Very interesting. Ooh, let's keep going. Bigger than Watergate, straight up sedition against the U.S. government. Now, I know a lot of you, again, I'm going to repeat myself, but many of you have seen this before. But doesn't it hit a little bit different when you see it all together, one after the other? Yeah, Trump knows exactly what he's doing. While Obama commissioned the intelligence community to falsify intelligence, the CIA initiated single largest spying operation on American soil in history. House Judiciary Committee confirms whistleblower report. FBI targeted Trump soon after he announced his presidential campaign in 2015. Targeted him from the beginning. They knew. They knew from the very beginning. This guy is coming to destroy the system. That's so crazy. It's so crazy. And again, I know all this. But seeing it again, hearing it again, looking it through the lens of City of London, it's crazier, isn't it?
So
here's Benny with Mike Davis. I'm actually going to revisit this later, so we'll come back to that one. Fact right now, Obama's the most demonic force in American politics in decades. Trump retweets that. Senate Committee on State Affairs, long clip. I'm not going to play that one. He reposts General Flynn. Now, if you know you've been watching this show, Flynn's done a lot of stuff lately that's been a little shady. Cozying up to Joe Kent, cozying up to Candace Owens. A lot of stuff that's shady, but never was willing to completely say Flynn's a grifter. Trump retruthing a Mike Flynn post is definitely in his favor. So we'll see. Then again, he could just be saying something Trump likes. Trump used to repost Tucker a lot too, didn't he? Have meetings with Tucker. So I'm still watching Flynn carefully. But I will say this is in his favor. And Flynn writes, 2020 election stolen. We had a fake president for 4 years. Country has yet to recover. Corporate media complicit in the crime. Anyone who uses the phrase election denier can GFT. Go F themselves. Enough's enough. Hold these people accountable now. The ramp up is here. More about Dominion. More about Manafort and Roger Stone in court. Clinton email case allegedly boxed in before the FBI could move. I told you there's a lot of posts. That's why I'm skipping around a bit. Former CIA Director Ratcliffe says Lisa Page admitted. Ratcliffe is now the CIA Director again. Says Lisa Page admitted under oath Obama's DOJ told the FBI not to even consider charging Hillary Clinton. Not after facts, not after investigation from the start. Even with gross negligence, Ratcliffe says outcome was protected at the top. Here's reading of WikiLeaks posts.
A newly released FBI file showed President Obama used a pseudonym to exchange emails with then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton.
Political advisors worried pay-to-play allegations could overshadow the beginning of her White House bid.
You guys remember they blamed Comey for her getting elected? Even Mark Halperin on Two-Way, who's for the most part an honest reporter, he uses that all the time. Oh, if Comey hadn't said that, Hillary would have won. No, it's not true at all. Did it bump a little bit? Absolutely. But she wouldn't have even been there if it wasn't for Comey. Comey is the one who hid the email scandal and covered for her. I mean, look, it just keeps going. I mean, he went nuts. This is all from last night. And then we get into the deeper stuff, the scary stuff. Children trafficked under mass migration. This is Trump. Any system results in the mass trafficking of children is inherently evil. Here's Trump talking about Biden's migration policies. 300,000 children missing. But we know this is only the tip of the iceberg. In fact, I believe now it's been up to 385,000 that RFK Jr. has confirmed went missing under Biden. Just the most horrific crime ever. Adam Schiff approved classified leaks to target Trump. Trump absolutely calling Schiff a leaker, which, by the way, Q wrote and posted 10 years ago. Here's a breakdown of that clip. Senior Democrat insider gave FBI agents sworn account former House Intelligence Chairman Adam Schiff personally directed his staff to leak classified intel to damage Trump during Russiagate investigation. Legal analysts on the program walk viewers through why this is a different kind of accusation. Chairman of the House Intel Committee does not have declass authority over these types of documents. They're made available to Congress under very tightly controlled rules. Members of both parties have gone out of their way to assure this material would be closely held, not weaponized. Schiff was viewed as one of the most political chairs of that committee. This is a chilling account if true. Does anybody doubt it's not true? So there it is, guys. About 40, 50 posts total of Trump just annihilating these people, bringing up everything we've gone over for the last few years, going all the way back to 2016, Russia. We get the hoaxes exposed. We get the Obamas, the Clintons, Schiff, Brennan, Comey. Trump's bringing it all back up. The election fraud. Why now? Very interesting timing. And then with Obama, with our Canadian neighbors, visiting Mark Carney, City of London banker turned prime minister, total deep state asset, one of the Five Eyes, one of the Commonwealth. All this going on, Trump blasting it out. John Brennan just decided to have a little interview on MSNBC. The other day. Oh, is it MS Now? That's why I got confused. It's got a new name. MS Now. And with Nicole Wallace. And listen to what he said. Very interesting.
He has succeeded largely in turning DOJ and the FBI into political arms of his political operation. What still exists in the system to slow that down?
Well, I think as Liz mentioned, there's still a legion of professionals in the law enforcement environment, the Department of Justice, as well as the CIA and other places, the ones who are refusing to follow politically motivated prosecutions, those who are refusing to support any type of political activities on the part of the Trump administration that are inconsistent with the authorities, the responsibilities of the intelligence community, law enforcement community. And
did you hear what he just admitted? He just admitted there's a shadow government cabal still in subverting the Trump administration's policies. Listen to this again.
Professionals in the law enforcement environment, the Department of Justice, as well as the CIA and other places.
A group of individuals in our law enforcement and intelligence communities.
The ones who are refusing to follow politically motivated.
Refusing to follow. They didn't refuse to follow when it was politically motivated against Trump. They only refused to follow against others. Now, this man looks terrified right now. He's been subpoenaed. He's under indictment. The grand juries are looking into him for even more stuff. This guy, though, Brennan, who is hid behind the scenes for so long, this is one of the masterminds on the American side of things. This is a guy who found Barack Obama in the 90s, groomed him to be a Manchurian candidate, brought him up, unleashed him upon us, and of course Obama gave him access to all of our intel by being CIA director. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. This guy converted, white, bald man, pasty white man, converted to Islam in the 90s as well, which they always use. It's Islam and communism, man. They go hand in hand. They're used by the intel agencies all the time to take down Western governments, Western civilization. I mean, it's all right there. And he's here admitting. I mean, that's sedition right there. Well, he just admitted there's people committing sedition, and he's talking about it like it's a great thing. As Obama's in Canada right now. Why? Because, guys, they can't waste time. They can't hide anymore. There's no time for them to hide. Trump is beating them back so badly. He is purging these departments. He did say there's some left in there, but they've also had a lot purged. Kash Patel's talked about that. Todd Blanche talked about that. Bondi's talked about that. Tulsi. They've been purging them. But also what's happening overseas is a big aspect of this. Venezuela, Iran, direct connections to City of London, to the cabal. We've talked about 100 times. They know. And it's very interesting that as soon as Iran got busted, we had all the influencers turn on Trump. And now that the midterms are starting to look bad for them, we have Obama and Brennan showing their true colors again. You just can't make this up. And then Data Republican does this incredible breakdown today on the shadow cabinet of George Soros, of how they're laundering the money and controlling a lot of the organizations in the U.S. She says inside the Soros-funded nonprofit handpicked Biden's national security team then pretended to dissolve, but it's still going on. We have Tony Blinken on there, who was Obama's Secretary of State, Susan Rice, National Security with Obama, Pritzker, which is related to Illinois' governor, Samantha Powers, Jen Psaki. Of course, Jen Psaki's on there. She's going to circle back. On January 30th, 2017, 10 days into Trump's presidency, Rosa Brooks published an article called 3 Ways to Get Rid of Trump Before 2020. Outlined 4 scenarios for removing him: impeachment, 25th Amendment, cabinet revolt, military coup. Of the last, she wrote, it was a possibility until recently I said was unthinkable. She was a former counselor, Secretary of Defense for Policy at the Pentagon. For that, she served as special counsel of President Open Society Institute, predecessor name for Soros's Open Society Foundations. This new organization came out within a year of the article. National Security Action. Co-chairs were Ben Rhodes, Obama's Deputy National Security Advisor, and Jake Sullivan, who is Biden's National Security Advisor. Rosa sat on the advisory council. 89% of the people in this were Obama administration alumni. 501c4, and it goes on to break it all down. She's got all the names. We got Mayorkas on there, who oversaw the border, allowed all these people to come in. Kamal really wasn't the border czar. Mayorkas wasn't really the one in charge of all that. Biden administration appointments, 66% of these people in this got appointed to Biden's administration. Powers ran U.S. aid. I mean, this stuff is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. For 12 months and 11 days from January 20th, 2021 to January 31st, 2022, Kathy Russell oversaw every senior appointment in the federal government. As director of White House Presidential Personnel Office, she oversaw selection of every cabinet secretary, deputy secretary, assistant secretary, NSC director, and ambassador. Married to Tom Donilon, the former Obama National Security Advisor. I mean, it's just sick. It goes on and on. There's so much here. I'm not going to have time to read the whole thing, but I really recommend checking it out. We got Soros at the top, Alex Soros on the bottom, running it, and then it goes straight from those two to the National Security Action into the Biden administration. You see how they run stuff. Soros' personal wealth flowed into the fund. Fund sends hundreds of millions to Open Society Policy Platform. I bet some of that made it to SPLC. Action Fund distributes to NSA. Total confirmed from Open Society to the NSA, 8.2 million. What they did in office. On August 26, 2021, suicide bomber killed 13 American service members, 169 Afghan civilians. House Foreign Chair Committee, led by Chairman McCall, found that Sullivan systematically exercised powers over the withdrawal process, with NSC serving as a nerve center for critical decision-making, substituting its judgment for that of the State Department and Defense Department on decisions those agencies were designed to make. This shadow organization, NGO, George Soros funded, was making the State Department and Defense Department decisions. Just insane stuff, guys. Insane. Alex Soros took over in June 2023, told the Wall Street Journal he was more political than his father, if you can believe that. It just goes on and on into Kamala. to security action, echo chamber with the New York Times, the profile of Ben Rhodes. He admitted creating an echo chamber to sell the Iran nuclear deal. We created an echo chamber. They were saying things that validate what we'd given them to say. He now holds 5 positions. Co-chair of NSA, contributor to NBC News and MSNBC. Mockingbird Media, baby. Co-host of Pod Save the World on Crooked Media, founded by Obama White House communications staff. I mean, it's sick. Again, I highly recommend reading the whole stuff, the whole article, because it's very deep. But if you guys want to know how deep the rabbit trail goes, but what's good about all this is, guys, the exposure is here. People are starting to figure it out, and we're getting action. Tulsi Gabbard today, it was announced, she's probing funding to more than 120 biolabs abroad. And then we have the Justice Department today last night came out and said they're weighing new criminal cases against Anthony Fauci, along with all the other stuff going on with the grand juries, all the information with the elections that Tulsi Gabbard's been unveiling and research, digging up. So, guys, it's coming. This stuff is wild. And, you'd want to you could take hours and days going through all this stuff. But again, let's go all the way back just to Trump last night sharing all this with us. I mean, dozens and dozens of posts absolutely going nuclear on all of this. Why? Because I think we're about to see justice. I think it's about to start. And they got to be terrified, as Trump is right now in China, and he's coming back, I believe, with an end game for Iran. And then, as Trump tweeted over a month ago, he said, when Iran's done, it's time to take care of the enemy at home. And he said, it's the Democrats. Well, not only have we seen the DOJ and FBI pick things up, but now we're seeing Trump lay out the entire story for us all over again. I take that as good news. So I'm excited. All right. That was a long segment with so much to get through, but let me get into the chat for a minute before we go on to the next thing. I got a grifter report today that's going to be very fun. Thanks to Thomas Massie. This story coming out about Thomas Massie that's absolutely wild, and in my opinion is most likely going to end his time in office with his primary next week. The timing is perfect to knock him back. So I'm very, very excited about this one. But all right, let me get in here. Make sure I catch anybody who super chatted real quick. Fenderman with the $5 super chat says, did everyone see how Brennan admitted to DOJ and FBI are politicized? Oh, yep. You must have written that before I put the post up. Thank you, Fenderman, for your donation. And we had Sam Damon join the membership here on YouTube. So he now has access to all members' lives. And I definitely appreciate that. If you guys, are learning anything, enjoy what you're watching, please hit that like, hit the subscribe if you're new. Always appreciate the support. There's the best way to freely support the channel. And if you really like it, if you're in the chat and you're like, this community is amazing and you want more deep dive content, members only content, so on and so forth, classes that'll be starting up soon, you want to get into the membership on Patreon. The way to do it is to get into the description, click the link to Patreon, go get your free month. You'll get through that link, you get a free month. So you can try it out. Get access to the Discord group, get access to all members' lives, members' podcasts, and if you decide you like it, you can stay after a month. So I highly recommend trying it out. A month is plenty of time to see if you actually want to be a part of it. Katie Cat with the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Katie. We now have 5 more people in the membership here on YouTube. Welcome, and glad you are here. Okay, let me see if anybody tagged me in anything so I don't miss it. Excuse me, I need to take a sip. I'm getting a little dry. Okay, we have lots of people. Starchild said this is scary and depressing. Well, I guess if you're seeing it for the first time, it's scary and depressing. If you've been around a while, I'm actually encouraged by everything we just went through. I'm encouraged by all this because to me, This is exposure, and exposure is a good thing. It means justice isn't far off. So that's how I look at it instead of being depressed by it. Nick Majors with the $5 super chat says, love this good stuff. Me too, my friend. Me too. It's getting good. It is better by the day for everybody really paying attention. You know, I keep getting a lot of doomers show up and give me every reason why they can't trust Trump, or why they're mad about what's happening, or how, you know, disgusting it is to like what. And I'm just like, you people either have no idea what you're talking about, or you're just dumb. You just have chosen the other side. Oh, by the way, just noticed right here, you notice who Trump reposted, guys? Promethean Action. That's, you know, I have a couple people who are very critical of me that I believe that there's ties to City of London and all the deep state stuff, which what Trump's doing. I have a lot of people critical of me on that. A couple in particular who are just like, you're spreading propaganda. We agree with a lot of what you say, but the City of London stuff's propaganda. Well, Trump just shared a post by the number one educator online of Promethean Action. So there you go.
Here's the attitude.
And in fact, he shared one of their videos. So, you know, if you don't think Trump is on to what's going on here in the same, and we're on to what we believe Trump's doing behind the scenes, if you don't think we're tracking, why would he share this? I mean, that's pretty crazy. That's Barbara Boyd, and they're amazing. I mean, they're amazing. So hoping to maybe get one of them on the show here if I can, if not both. I would love to have Susan and Barb on. Let's see here. Another $5 super chat says, I've been following this stuff since 1999. I've never been more encouraged than I am now. That's from Fenderman. Thank you so much, my friend. And I completely agree with you. I did a video yesterday about how I see with Trump's policies in there. I put in Trump's policies. I asked it to research the current results of those policies, and I asked Grok to project, if we keep winning going forward, what these policies could do to our country. And that didn't even include the tearing down of the corruption and all this. And guys, it's amazing. I mean, 5, 10, 20 years forward, we're looking at what Trump's doing is going to change our country in so many ways, and all positive. I mean, better economy, much, much better economy, I should say, back to the American system, not what we've been living under, which is a crony capitalist financial system implemented since 1913. We're looking at renewed culture, patriotism, faith, family-oriented, community-oriented. I mean, we're getting our country back and better than ever. So one of the many with a $10 super chat says, Ace answers our questions during his lives, why it's always super chats, not super questions. Is that why? Do I answer some of your questions? Well, that's good. I try to answer questions as much as I can. Oh, I appreciate you saying that. Let's see. Promethean ladies have the receipts. Amen. Eco says, why should we let Islam take over another Christian nation? How we learn Islam's violent, filthy from the UK and Canada already? Well, that's the thing. It's all part of the plan, you know? You get these, you know, and this is, I'm not calling all Muslims bad. There are peaceful Muslims. There are Muslims who don't practice the every teaching from the Quran. Okay. So it's like, if you're Muslim, but you're conservative and you're educated and awake, like, I'm not calling you out. I am saying that the true believers of Islam that go deep into it, which is the vast majority of Muslims, they get violent. The third world country ones especially are violent. They're backwards culturally. And yeah, everywhere they go, they tear down. They make it worse. And that is on purpose, guys. It's not like we're just going to be nice to them and let them in, and, you know, it's tolerance and let's give them a shot. They don't actually believe that. The Democrats aren't that stupid. They're stupid, but they're not that stupid. It's too obvious. No, the reason you let them in is because you purposely want to destroy nations built on Christianity, with Christian principles, Christian values, Christian family life, family structure. You want to destroy that because it's the greatest threat to power, which the communists desire more than anything. Now, these financiers, the bankers, the guys who, are the City of London system at the top who run this, they're not like true Marxist communists, but what they do is they use that to get what they want because they're already at the top. And so what Marxism does is it creates a system that funnels more power up to the top. And so they use that. They use Islam to destroy culture. They use and Marxism to destroy culture as well, but they also use Marxism to destroy the financial system and the political system. It's all used together, and you can see it everywhere it's being tried. In Europe, all these socialist countries that are communist light, they keep getting more and more commie while also importing millions and millions of Muslims from third world countries who are degrading their culture and discouraging them, allowing their daughters to be raped, allowing just people to be stabbed in the streets, robbed, and then let off free by judges. I mean, I don't cover that stuff case by case on my show because it's so disgusting and horrible. I don't want to cover the cases. But if you research it, it is some of the most disgusting, sad, horrifying things you'll ever see, what they're allowing to happen to their people, especially their kids. And what it does is it degrades a society. It makes people give up. But it also, in some cases, like what we're seeing in Ireland, the people are starting to rise up. And because they see over here a champion like Trump, who's fighting back, who's bringing normalcy and common sense and goodness back to America, beauty back to America. That is worldwide. People are seeing it, and it's inspiring. All you need is one. As long as it's somebody they can all see. And when it's the strongest, most powerful, greatest nation has ever been on God's green earth, and that's the country that's reforming. That's the country that's fighting back. That's the country that's getting back to basics. That inspires everyone else. And so all the people that are oppressed and discouraged and have been giving up, they're starting to feel strong again. And it's because of Trump and what's going on in America, So it's incredible. EcoTank says, take a look at New York. They're in a nosedive. Then Islam took over, and it's even more. Yeah, well, not only is he Islamic, he's also communist. He's both. I mean, you can't make it up. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's everywhere. Marilyn says Muslims taking over Texas. Well, they're trying to take over portions. There's a big pushback on that now. I think Texas is going to be fine, but I know what you're talking about, and there's definitely been some worrying stuff, but it's getting better. It is getting better. Let's see here. A Muslim who doesn't follow Islam is a bad Muslim. Well, that's true. I know, but there's still a lot of people who consider themselves Muslims that aren't like really Muslim, All right. Okay. Prefer a better America. Don't think religion is a factor. No, religion was 100% a factor. You have to listen. There is not a single culture in history that isn't Christian that became a society that valued life and freedom. You can't point to one. Every single other society that wasn't built on Christianity has degraded. It's just a fact. And you get into secularism, you think you can have a society of values and freedom without Christianity. You can't, because Christianity is the only thing that values humans as life derived from God. And so every human life is valuable. And every single other culture doesn't have that. It just doesn't. That's why the greatest cultures in history had a Christian backdrop, and not all of them were perfect. Obviously, Christians aren't perfect. And, but if go back to where Europe came into prominence, it was because of Christianity. You go back to, Christianity is relatively young compared to other religions, but 2,000 years. But there's no denying the fact America was completely founded on Christian values. Absolutely. And so you cannot have a strong nation with our values, which is freedom, rights, and even capitalism. You can find all that rooted in Christianity, and none of it existed before then. The idea of republic, which is so much smarter than a pure democracy, that comes from Christian values. So it's just I'm sorry. It's anybody who says religion's not a factor is wrong. Your people are blessed. They can, live in a Christian society. People are like, oh, Christians suck. It's like, well, why are you in America then? Because we are a Christian nation. We're 66% Christian. That's 2/3. Even at our most secular, we're still 2/3 Christian. Why do the communists always take out Christians first? Always. Whether it's Russia, China, Spain, when they went through their revolution, all of them, they always take out the Christians first. Because we're the only ones who we worship God over the state. We have a value for that, and so the state cannot tell us certain things to do, and that is very dangerous to communism and other systems. So you just can't have it. So make American Christian again. We need to lean into it, just like President Trump's doing. That's why March 17th, next Sunday, is the day he rededicates our nation to Jesus, to the Christian God. And that's why he's doing it. He knows. Isn't America founded on freedom and religion? Yeah, but that's a misunderstanding. You got to understand that when the founding fathers create America, they called denominations religions. Okay. So freedom of religion to them was freedom to practice Christianity. They never thought in a million years Muslims would be coming over here. They didn't think that. It was everybody was Christian, but they were Quaker, they were Dutch Reform, they were Catholics, they Anglicans, you name it, Lutherans. It was freedom of religion. In other words, practice the denomination you believe in. The people who fled over here originally were the Puritans. They were practicing a denomination that was being oppressed, not a religion. And so the freedom of religion is denominational. In fact, states were allowed to have states back then were allowed to have state denominations. Like Pennsylvania was a Quaker state. So, it's just like people just don't understand. They take that stuff out of context. They have no idea what they're talking about when they say it. They never in a million years would have said we're open to Islam, or we're open to Buddhism. They never in a million years would have said that, but they didn't think it was possible. You got to understand, they came from Europe, which the British Empire is the biggest empire in the world, and Europe was completely Christian. And so everybody coming to America was Christian. So that's why they put that in there. They were like, we've learned to coexist with our denominations, so we're going to make it free. And it's a language thing. And anybody who studies for 10 minutes the founding fathers, you can't miss that. You can't miss that. So it was a Christian nation always. And unfortunately, because of the language they put in there, our language has changed, how we understand it, and our understanding has changed. So we now have used that, and it's been used against us to allow all sorts of insanity. All sorts of insanity. So, but if we had stuck to the original founding fathers, yeah, you had to be a Christian to be serving government. Okay. So I'm just saying it's, that's what it was about. And people just need to understand that to really understand our country, but unfortunately they don't do the work. Katie Cat with a $2 donation says, fun fact, Maryland was the only Catholic state. Yeah, look where Maryland is now. Just kidding. Just kidding. That's a joke. There's lots of states that have fallen apart, but let's see here. Anyways, yeah, so that's my breakdown on that. You know, I know I'm going to get hate over that one. Bring it, commenters. Bring it. I'm going to get hate for that speech. Oh, well. Yeah, you guys, I mean, I agree with pretty much everything you guys are writing. Yeah. Okay, let's keep moving. Next segment. All right. I want to talk about this. So are you guys ready for the Grifter Report? We got a good one today. All right. So Thomas Massie, the principled America First patriot, the man that they lionize as their great representative, the only man who truly cares about America, by the grifters, by the podcastians, the Tucker Carlsons, Dave Smiths of the world. Thomas Massie is their hero, and Thomas Massie is a scumbag. Let's get into it today. Thomas Massie breaking out today, this massive story going around from Cynthia West, ex-girlfriend of Thomas Massie. Let's listen to what she has to say. She's got some pretty damning stuff on Massie.
Forms or identify any evidence or identify witnesses?
Yeah,
Did you comply with all those requirements?
I did.
And in the course of filling out those documents, did you by any chance list Thomas Massie
I
as
did.
a potential witness?
I did, yes.
How did he react to that?
Well, out of courtesy, when I started the process, I called him up to let him know. And he was very angry. And he said, you're just one person, that you can't make a difference, that you need to just walk away. And then he had $5,000 that he said that he would give me if I could just walk away. I didn't take it, though.
Did he offer you a check?
No, he has cash, so it's part of his cow money, right? It's his non-traceable money.
Typical libertarian, dealing only in cash. I do want to be careful to say these are allegations. Okay, as far as we know, nothing's been proven, but you can listen to her and see, what you think about if she's trustworthy or not as she speaks.
No, wait a minute. You said it's part of his cow money?
Yeah, because he's got cows. He sells cows and he gets cash and he keeps it kind of.
He doesn't report it?
No.
So how did he react when you wouldn't take the money and walk away?
Well, he was very angry at that conversation.
All right.
I feel like the cow money thing is pretty good little details there. So she exposes him as a sexual deviant and said Massie DM'd her on X in August of 2024, not even 2 months after his wife died. Massie ended up getting her a congressional staffer job in D.C. Massie pressured her to be involved in deviant sexual behavior with him. Cynthia rejected, feeling extremely pressured and uncomfortable. When she rejected, Thomas Massie had her fired, bribed her, and threatened her not to file a complaint. The complaint was filed the same time period when Massie remarried to a different staffer 20 years younger than Massie, that's not allegation. He did marry a much younger woman. Man who screamed the loudest about transparency for Epstein turned out to be a scumbag himself. Maybe. Let's get into it a little more details. So she was talking to Marcus Carey, a prominent Kentucky attorney, seek advice. He interviewed her where she agreed to go on the record. 2 months after, the pair went on trips and she'd visit him in Kentucky and Rhonda's home. Things heated up between them. He gave her a promise ring. Things were going great. In fact, Thomas helped West get a job working for Indiana Rep. This way she could travel to D.C. to spend more time with him. Relationship took a weird turn. He began requesting she do sex acts for him that made her uncomfortable. She rejected and then kept working. Shortly after breakup, she got a text saying she was fired, even though she was never written up. So she went to ethics and put out a complaint. So the ethics should have this on record. She knows Massie that she notified him he'd be named. She said he got very angry. And that's when he said that to her, when he was about to be in the complaint. Cynthia said he did what any other principled conservative would do. Bribe her with $5,000 cash. Here's a bigger breakdown on it. Listen, this is a bombshell. And again, it's an allegation. Okay. I don't want to be the guy who's like, oh, this is 100% true. And then it ends up blowing up in my face. I will say the timing is crazy because he's got his primary next week. This is not good for T-Mass. Okay. Very, very bad for him as he's already been losing a ton of support. So would this surprise me? Absolutely not. Massie is a strange dude. He, I'm not saying I don't know what it'd be like to be widowed. God forbid it ever happened to me, but he got married really quick. He did. And went younger, got his Ozempic or whatever, lost all that baby fat, got a beard. He looks like a completely different person now. I mean, this guy, everything about him, except for the fact that he's held up and since he votes no on everything, he's like, oh, a hero. He's a hero of Congress. He's the only true principled one. Yeah, okay. That breaks down about 5 minutes once you go over his record, but I digress. I've already done that. This might be the thing that finally crushes him, though. And we already know Massie's terrified. He did that ad where he's like, me and Trump are buddies with the elephant and everything, and I vote for Trump all the time. And then he goes on Tucker Carlson, and not only does he totally throw Trump under the bus, but he makes all this stuff about how the other guy is getting funds from Israel and Massie's not. When we've debunked all that too. I went through everything. I exposed it all last week. But all that says he's panicking, and now this comes out, and I'm hoping one way or the other, this is the final nail in the coffin for Thomas Massie. It's not looking good for him. It's really not looking good for him. You know what is also not looking good is his whole take on Epstein. Right now, we have Michael Tracy, who's been one of the best reporters on all the Epstein stuff, reporting that there was no information sent to him for Epstein survivors giving their testimony to an oversight committee. But here's the problem. These Epstein people, these are the ones that have been traveling with Massie. They're going to Florida for this hearing to testify, but it's only Democrats going to be there. Is that a red flag or what? But listen to them break it down.
Look, tomorrow is actually a very important moment in this investigation. For the first time, we're going to hear directly from survivors in a hearing format where they'll be able to tell their stories. They'll be able to answer questions from the committee. We're also going to be hearing from some folks here on the ground that were very involved in Palm Beach and the way this investigation at the local and state level really unraveled. I mean, at the center of this, of course, is former Secretary Alex Acosta. Just the horrible job that was done by his then department and him as U.S. attorney in actually prosecuting and trying to bring justice for the survivors and to really go after other co-conspirators. And so those stories will be told.
This is fraudulent. Okay. It smells bad because it is bad. Going down there, the Democrats leading it in a closed door session of testifying. Why not testify in Congress? Why not go on the floor? Because they're just going to build a story and get out of it what they want. And then they're just going to release tidbits of whatever they can use to attack the Trump administration. And so this thing just continues to look worse and worse. And more validating for the Trump administration that they might not be the ones actually hiding as much has been alleged. So that's fallen down. And then we got Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massie's buddy, the America First duo, the ambiguously gay America First duo of Fagaland, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Massie. Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene she's so America First that she sold her house in America and has now moved to Costa Rica. Yeah. That says nothing says America First like in your mansion in Costa Rica. MTG fled the country of Costa Rica. She's living in a $5 million mansion after selling her house in Rome. Exclusively reported on purchase of mansion in 2024. Costa Rica only allows for tourists to stay for 90 days. Does this mean MTG has applied for dual citizenship? If so, how long has she been planning to flee the country? Purchase of the property proves she began this process as a member of Congress. Oh, well, she's America First, America Only. Rules for thee, not for thee, from the woke Reich. I love the woke Reich. That is such a great line right there. Further evidence, MTG's fight with Trump has always been planned. She was always planning to leave Congress in America. Now she gets to cry victim and say, I was forced into exile. Calculate and fake. Tucker also, home in Qatar. How does someone making $180,000 a year as member of Congress afford a $5 million Costa Rican village? Insider training? Here it is. Looking out. Oh, it's so beautiful. Real Marjorie Taylor Greene posts on Instagram. I'm so thankful to start the next chapter with Brian Glenn TV, who just resigned his post covering the White House to go elope with her. So beautiful. Such a beautiful love story. Feel bad for her. Man, Trump's been so mean to her. Truth Hammer posts, way back when MTG came on the scene, I heard she made money in a construction business. My reaction was, cool. Glad we have another in Congress who knows some real business. Turns out all 25 taxpayer-funded public housing projects were granted to her by Obama's HUD. Some of them got mysterious accelerated approvals years faster than everyone else. So Marjorie Taylor Grifter has been doing this for a long time. And again, she came out the other week. It was like, Trump said it's good if I'm threatened. My kids are threatened because I deserve it. Can we believe anything these people say anymore? It just gets worse and worse. These are some of the worst people. They're just awful. And I'm so glad, thank God for X, because without X, we wouldn't have near this amount of exposure. I mean, I don't know what to tell anybody who still believes in any of these people, whether it's Tucker, Megan, Nick Fuentes, Candace, you go down the list, Alex Jones. I mean, this has been, the last 2 months has accelerated the exposure like nothing we've ever seen before. You can barely keep track of it at this point. But these people, I mean, it's just, they're shameless too. That's the other part of it. Just absolutely shameless. Costa Rica. How can somebody claim to be an America First patriot and yet be living abroad? And yet there's people who are still buying her BS. It's crazy. At least Massie is, still in America as a cow farm. We'll see what happens when he loses his seat. Maybe he'll go join her. Maybe he's going to live in this little shed area right here. That'd be fitting for Massie. That's about what he deserves. Candace, on the other hand, she's, dual citizen of UK and married to the House of Lords member. She's a true America First patriot as well. She's now coming out and calling out Nick Shirley for all his exposure of fraud, to which he's responding with her with the evidence. But why? I mean, why? Why would you attack that? Isn't it good we're exposing fraud? On top of that, she says that the Charlie Kirk audio about appointing Erica as AI. And so this might be the most consequential lie. And so she's just going even to deeper levels. She's obviously running out of viewers, needs something new for her content. But why attack this guy? He's a 24-year-old kid doing independent reporting. These people are gross. They're gross. And then finally we got Megyn Kelly, who, well, let's listen to Megyn. Let's listen to what Megyn has to tell us.
10 million people in his 30 million in ours. Our interests are a lot greater and frankly more important. Sorry, but they are. And we're running this thing. It's our military. It's our boots on the ground, not yours,
Israel.
that has been doing the lion's share of all this. So, yeah, we're not equal partners. But in any event, Netanyahu, the Israeli prime minister, went on 60 Minutes last night, and this whole thing made that appearance all the more interesting. 60 aired a good chunk of correspondent Major Garrett's interview with the prime minister on TV last night. The segment was about 12 minutes, but CBS also released the full 70-minute sit-down online. That's not out of the goodness of their hearts. That's thanks to President Trump's lawsuit back in 2024 when he alleged 60 Minutes made misleading edits to a Kamala Harris interview in an effort to make her look good. 10 million people in his country. We've got
Israel.
330 million.
It's always Israel. Megan's been saying we have boots on the ground in Iran, just outright lying about all this, doing it for Israel. And it's gotten so bad with her that there's many friends of hers now kind of distraught over what's happened to Megan. We have Sasha Stone, who I follow on X. She's a former liberal entertainment writer turned conservative MAGA. And was friends with Megan. And she's just like, I don't know what's happening. And then there's Victor Davis Hanson, who's been some of the best coverage on the Trump administration, especially the foreign policy part. And he used to be close to Megan as well. And here's Victor says, not understanding what's going on.
Pete Buttigieg or Newsom, they wouldn't. They've all dismissed Israel. I've never seen, as a excursus, I've never seen anything like this. My friend Megyn Kelly the other day, in a passionate interview, which went viral because the people were juxtaposing it. When I was on her program last summer, she was very adamant about the necessity of the bombing to take away the nuclear threat. And then she made some really good points about Islam. And I mean, going back through 5 or 6 administration, who are the people who blew up our Tanzania, our Kenya embassies, our Beirut embassies, our Marine barracks? Who were the ones that sending shape charge to blow up Americans? Who was the panty bomber, whatever we call it, underwear bomber, who that killed people at Fort Hood, who killed people at San Bernardino, who killed people in a nightclub, who did 9/11? Who are those?
USS Cole, right? The hole
USS Cole.
side,
We know who. It's not Jewish terrorists. It's Islam. And so this idea that you have to rethink it because maybe the real enemy or maybe the real danger. Tucker said that Israel poses a greater threat than either China or the Islamic world. That's just crazy.
Megan said that she was manipulated by the pro-Israel voice in the United States. I just thought she was manipulated.
But how
That's a pathetic thing to say.
She's very bright. How could she be manipulated? The evidence is all out there. Her first excursus on it was very empirical. She said it right last summer. She said, I'm wondering now if I was misled, but she wasn't. She was confident when she said that because she was looking at the evidence.
Pretty incredible stuff, honestly. When you get a friend, somebody who actually knew her personally, was on her show regularly, just kind of blown away by the turn. I mean, this didn't happen naturally. They were gotten to. And they're Kelly, Tucker, whoever, they're either being paid or they were just assets the whole time waiting to be deployed. And at this point, it doesn't matter which way it goes. All that matters is that they're all fighting on the other side, and it's obvious. And when you have these guys who are completely befuddled, who are like, I don't understand, that's not who she was. I mean, it kind of tells you all you need to know, how well they did their job, how well they implanted themselves. But even they have to come out now and call them out. So the grifters, man, they just it's ending for them quickly. It's really falling apart for them as more and more comes out, as they become more and more obvious by the day. And I love it. I absolutely love seeing it because, I hate dishonesty. And one of the things about my show is like I'm not perfect. I get stuff wrong. But I'm honest in my process. I'm honest about why I believe it. And I just can't, nobody pays for this. Obviously not. It took me 3.5 years to even get this many people watching me. And that's with a lot of consistency and a lot of shows being done. But, you know, it makes me sick seeing these people. And you can kind of see it a lot, but sometimes it's easy to see it right away, right? And other times they get to you. You spend time with them. Like I say all the time, how Tucker Carlson had me fooled for a couple years. But just when they start turning, when they start saying this stuff and it doesn't make sense, we're learning that it's actually on purpose. It's not that they're doing something, they're exploring something new. It's not that they're awakening. It's because they're seeding. These people are all in the media who have the money, who have the big platforms. The ones that are grifting are the ones who change up and who are going after the Trump administration. And to me, it's just another sign how well the Trump administration must be performing. Because when you see stuff like this, and these are the biggest critics of the Trump administration from the America First side. I mean, come on. What are we even doing here? At least try, guys. At least try. But again, some people are still going to follow him, and that's crazy to me. But thankfully, you guys are much too smart for that, and that's why you're watching this show. At least I like to think so. All right. Let's take a break. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe. Appreciate you guys watching as always. So please support the channel by liking and subscribing. Check out the membership in the description. Click that Patreon link for a free month for Discord access and members' lives, etc., etc. Let me get into the chat now and see what I've been missing. You guys definitely were talking a lot on that one, and that's awesome. Mr. Bob says, when the whole internet, this is on Rumble, when the whole internet goes down, who will survive? Well, it's not going to go down, so I don't know, but I don't know what to say to that. I honestly don't. Sorry. Let's see here. I don't know anything about this redistricting law in Illinois that's being challenged. That could be great news. Although the Democrats still fully control Illinois, so I'm not thinking we're going to gain any seats from anything in Illinois one way or the other. Okay, let me try to look through here. Tagged here. Eco says, I had a feeling some of these right-wing media grifters would turn against the American people. Well, they kind of have, because they're turning against the people actually doing it, you know, actually making changes for the people. Sebastian says, funny seeing Nick, Dan, Candace, Jake, and Ian all fighting each other, calling each other feds and plants. I know. That's been really interesting. This whole Nick Fuentes and Dan Bilzerian, that's who you're talking about, Jake Shields thing. I don't know what's going on with that, but I am watching it closely because it is weird that they're turning on each other at this point. And those are, you know, Candace and Nick, they all fled the country at the same time. Ian, they're the ones who all turned off their show at the same week and disappeared, and overseas for sure for Candace and Nick. So that's interesting. Wyatt Earp says, we named our youngest boy Tucker because we liked him. He sucks for this turn. That sucks. But Tucker's not a bad name, at least. Just never tell him you named him after Tucker Carlson. You know, and then you'll be all right. Let's see. Tommy's podcast made a good case for it being the U.S. government that took out Charlie with Israeli drone. I don't know, man. I think that's insane. Why would Trump take out Charlie? It makes no sense. It makes zero sense at all. And I think it's just an insane conspiracy theory. We don't have Trump without Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was very close with Don Jr. and J.D. Vance. They've been friends for years. There's just no, I don't think there's any way the Trump administration killed Charlie. I just don't see any way that's true. Also, there's a lot of evidence about Tyler Robinson killing him that's going to come out in the trial, including video of him getting up on the roof. So I just don't, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. This whole, like, Israel and our government killed Charlie Kirk thing, I think that's insane. And I just, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess a lot of people think they're all, everything's a conspiracy, but I can't. Some stuff just gets stupid. I'm sorry. It doesn't help. It doesn't help. Jay Tyra says, never interfere with an enemy when the enemy is in the process of destroying itself. In this case, the woke Reich. 100% true. Yep. 100%. Let's see. Owners of the grifters you mentioned must be getting desperate. They spent them all up at once, exposed them, depleted their value in one shot as a tell. Oh, yeah. I mean, I've said that since the beginning. Those have been watching the show since mid-March when we went to Iran and all these people started coming out. I said from the very beginning, I think I was one of the first who said this looks like all assets deployed because Iran is a key to them. They can't lose it. Now, what makes a lot more sense, going back to Charlie, that he was, it was all set up by a deep state kind of City of London attack. And the reason it makes more sense is because, what they say, the grifter, the podcastian side, the FAGA America First creeps, they all say that, oh, it's so sad Charlie died because he kept Trump in check, which is the dumbest thing ever. No, the real truth is Charlie kept them in check because everybody trusted Charlie more than them. If Megyn Kelly said something and Charlie said something different, everybody trusted Charlie. Tucker, if he said something and Charlie said something different, everybody trusted Charlie. Charlie kept the media guys in check. He kept them out from changing MAGA, from hurting MAGA, from taking over this whole like America First grift they're pulling, like Nick Fuentes, the Groyper types. Charlie was the wall that kept them out because everybody loved him more. And notice how they're the ones who changed after Charlie died, not Trump. Okay, that's the truth, and I think that's completely obvious. And that's why they need to get rid of him so that they could try to psyop us and ruin MAGA. That makes more sense than anything else. It really does. Because Trump had already attacked Iran when Charlie was alive. I mean, it's so stupid. This whole idea that Charlie kept Trump in check makes no sense at all. Dennis Zirkle says, enjoying yours and Matt Moore's shows lately. White pills only. Black pillars only want you demoralized and lost. Yeah, amen. Black pilling is from the enemy. It's nobody who's on the side of actually getting our country back on track is black pilling. Yeah, honestly, not the people who really believe it and are trying to do it. Yeah, Warsh is confirmed. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Courtney says, U.S. government's bad actors do things without Trump's permission. Well, yeah, but that's still the deep state. So I want to, if that was them, I don't consider that our government. I consider that deep state operatives. But the drone idea, I think, is stupid. It's pretty clear Tyler shot him. And I think that's going to be very evident in the court case. Fenderman with the $5 donation says, CIA took out Marilyn Monroe to make Kennedy's look bad. CIA took out Charlie to create MAGA divide. Maybe. See, I don't agree with you on that. And maybe there was a bad actor, but Trump has been pretty clear that the CIA is being reformed with Radcliffe there. One of the ways we know this is because Venezuela was one of the hubs that CIA was racketeering through and trafficking and running drug trafficking, laundering money through. CIA had been using Venezuela for a very long time. And when they went to Venezuela, Trump had a photo op watching the operation, and who was right next to him? John Ratcliffe. And that was a symbol. That was a signal. I have the CIA director right with me taking out the old CIA how they operated stuff. So that to me, guys, is all I needed to know, that Trump and them are on it, just like Kash Patel and the FBI and et cetera. Doesn't mean there's not bad operatives still, but their ability to do much is going to be much, much limited. So that's how I look at it. Let's see. Victory timing of Tucker Candace happened immediately after Charlie's assassinated. Even MTG didn't voice her opinion until after. Well, yeah, it's true, but a lot of them waited a long time. Candace is the only one who really went nuts after 2 weeks. So she waited 2 weeks. That's it. And she's supposedly his best friend. Didn't let him lay in peace for 2 weeks before trying to destroy his wife and his organization. Yeah, that's honor right there. But on the other hand, Tucker and them, they started doing some interviews that were weird, but then they really went after him after everything once Iran hit. And to me, that was because they have to. They were like, we're running out of time. Oh, Fenderman says, I mean deep state. Okay, brother. Now we understand each other better. Let's see. Torjay says, you love your channel viewpoints. If you think we're not in the end times, you better get to studying that. Dude, I've studied the Bible probably more than you. I spent 25 years studying the Bible and still ongoing. I've been to Israel to study the Bible. I've learned the Bible in Greek and Hebrew. I have read over 300 books, theology books, learning this. I've studied the original people. We're not in the end times. And listen, I've been hearing people like you, and this is not to knock you, but I've been a Christian since I was, a baby. I was born into being a Christian. I really became a Christian when I was 12, but you know what I mean. I was raised in the church. My father was a pastor. Okay. And so the Bible's been my life. And I got to tell you, the whole idea we're in the end times is nonsense. And I've been hearing that crap since I was 5 years old, in the 80s. 88 reasons the world's going to end in 88. People have been saying this my whole life. They've always been wrong and they always will be. So I mean, not always will be in the sense that there'll never be end times, but it's not, first of all, the end times aren't what you think it is. That is just a psyop that's been unleashed upon. I'm not doing this whole thing here. You guys can go watch my Bible teaching or sign up at my membership for more of my Bible stuff. But I'm just telling you, don't throw that stuff out at me like I don't know my Bible. I guarantee you I know the Bible better than 99% of people, maybe even more than that. I've spent years on it. And everybody, I used to believe what you believe, and I just found it's all lies. But at least in the sense that you mean it. And it's definitely not now. We're heading into a better time. We're heading into a better time. Not a worse time right now. So, let's see here. Carnivore King says, found you recently. Been enjoying hearing your perspective. Found you because of MJ Truth. Shout out. Oh, thank you, man. I'm glad. Appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. You probably already have, but I wanted to hit you out anyways. Yeah, Johnny Enlow's got great stuff on end times. Yeah, listen, this whole it's just I don't want to get into it. I've done it so many times. It gets old, but I do deep. In fact, I'm about to do a deep study on the end times again in my membership. So if you guys want to join the membership, and that is, going to be helpful for a lot of you who don't understand it. But I'll tell you this, the end time stuff, every single time, and I'm not saying the person in the chat, but every single time an influencer uses end time stuff, it's a psyop for blackpilling. And some of them actually believe it. They don't even know they're part of the psyop. They don't know it. Okay. I know a lot of these people. They are, because I spent, decades. I was a pastor for 10 years. I spent decades in the church. And I know a lot of these people, even some of the people you see on YouTube. I've met them personally, or I have acquaintances with them. They believe a lot of stuff I don't agree with. And they legitimately believe some of the stuff they're saying. The problem is that it's used to blackpill and discourage people and get them into that bunker mentality. And I'm sorry, there's just no value in that mentality whatsoever. It didn't help us in Y2K. I mean, people, because of Hal Lindsey said the end times were in the 70s. People read Hal Lindsey's Late Great Planet Earth, which is complete slop and a horrible book, terrible theology. They read that book and they created bunkers, and they didn't live it for, they didn't live life for decades. They just kept accruing in their little bunkers and waiting for Israel for this red heifer, which there's nowhere in the Bible that says anything about red heifer. It's so stupid. There's never going to be a third temple. All this stuff, it's just nonsense. But they don't understand their Bible, and they don't understand how the fall of Jerusalem fulfilled most of Matthew 24 and Revelation. But I teach about that because we're not taught about the fall of Jerusalem in our Bible studies in modern era. But most of what you believe about the end times, most people, it came from John Darby in the 1800s, Hal Lindsey, and then probably the Left Behind series. It's not real. It's just not. So what biblical persuasion am I? Originalist. I don't consider myself a persuasion, but I would say if I'm a biblical persuasion, I'm an originalist. I believe in going to the Greek and Hebrew and understanding it from the Jewish context and culture, because that's the only way you can truly read the Bible. Is you have to understand Jewish culture from ancient Jewish culture. You have to understand history of Rome and Israel, and you have to understand Greek and Hebrew. Like, you have to be able to read from those perspectives. If you don't do those four things, you just can't call yourself, you can say you love the Bible, you can say you learn from the Bible, you can read for inspiration, all that stuff, and that's great. But you can't call yourself a true Bible understanding Christian without really going into that stuff. And I've done all of it. I've spent thousands of hours studying this stuff, thousands. And I've taught it for hundreds of hours. So I'm just, anybody who ever calls me out on that stuff, I'm like, you can disagree with me, but don't ever say I don't know my stuff. Don't ever say I don't know my stuff. I know my theology better than my politics. So that's just crazy. So we can disagree, but as a Seahawks fan, I'm all right. I love the show. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know who Jay Dyer is. I'm sorry. Let's see. Anita says, oh, well, thank you, Anita. I appreciate that. I won't call it out there. I'm not preterist in the fact that, I'll just say this. There's a funny meme that says you never go full preterist. You can't. Full preterism is insane. But if there are parts of preterism that I do agree with. No, the Bible is not allegory and astrology. See, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. That's insane. And you honestly don't know your Bible either. The Bible is history, prophecy, and poetry. It is not astrology. In fact, the Bible says astrology is evil, and it's definitely not allegory. So you're completely wrong. You have no idea what you're talking about. You haven't studied history. You haven't studied how the Bible has been proven to be one of the strongest historical documents ever written, with proof, and much more proof than most classical ancient manuscripts. So no, I don't know that because it's not true. It's a lie. That is completely wrong. Completely wrong. MJ Truth does black pill over Israel a little bit, and I love his stuff, but his Israel stuff bothers me. His Israel stuff bothers me a little bit. He's been completely black pilled on Israel. So, let's see here. What are you talking about? This guy is nonsense. Hey, dummy, do you know that the Bible, when it first says we made man in our image, it's plural, and it says Elohim. So God is Trinity, not singular. You're a dope. Get out of here. You're gone. That was a stupid thing to say. Yeah, the ginger episode of South Park's amazing. It's amazing. Let's see here. Oh, Alex Jones follows him? Then he's probably full of crap. I'm sorry. Oh, I get the Bible bots all the time. These people just, I get the people that cannot, that just can't handle a different opinion on the Bible. And listen, the Bible says, let's talk about the Bible. The Bible says, which Paul writes, we all see in part. In other words, none of us know it 100%. Okay. None of us know God 100%, understand it 100%. So when I bring up something and you're like, you don't know the Bible because I share my perspective and you haven't even heard my evidence yet, that means you're an idiot. And it means you're a religious fool. And I don't have any tolerance for religious fools. I'm like Jesus, man. There are very few things in this world I hate. I hate religion. And Jesus gives me permission to hate religion because he hated religion. That's why he always went after the Pharisees. And I think some of the worst things that happen in our life in this world are Christians who don't understand the Bible and yet act as if they are the protectors of it. They have no humility. They think they know better than everybody, and they just have to go spout their religious crap. It drives me up a wall. It drives me up a wall. And I just have no time for that, so I just kick them out. It's one thing to ask questions. It's one thing to say, hey, why do you believe that? I'm fine with that. I'm fine with, well, I understand it this way. In fact, one of my favorite people on here, he's been around forever, Roger. I don't think he's on today. He's one of my favorite people. He completely disagrees with me on some of this stuff. But you know what? We're friends and we disagree amicably. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. But don't give me this, oh, I know you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, out. You're done. Like, I don't have time for your nonsense. You're not offering anything. Don't come on here and preach to me on my show. Come on. Like, that's stupid. Let's see. What's my view on who are the chosen ones? The chosen ones are everybody who accepts Jesus. That's the only true biblical way to look at it. Because Paul says there's neither Gentile nor Jew. You know what that means? It means that in God's eyes, there's no difference between the two anymore. So the Jews are not special in God's eyes anymore. That's in Galatians, so you can look it up. But he compares it and basically says, like, you're not different. And the only thing now is the difference is those who say yes to Christ and those who don't. That's the only difference. So, oh, okay. You talked to MJ Truth about it. That's awesome. Good for you for reaching out. 6,000 years. You know, I have this belief on the time of our earth. There are ways you could say Eden. Okay. The Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, we don't know how long they were there before the serpent came. Okay. Before they sinned. So, and Eden was a place. Eden was not the whole earth. It was a place on the earth. So is it possible that the rest of creation, like they were there thousands of years? Like there's an argument for it. So when people ask me, what do you believe the earth is only 6,000 years old? I'm like, I don't know. What do you and then Christians will be like, well, do you think it's millions of years old? I'm like, I don't know. There's no timeline in the Bible. The timeline starts when Adam sins, and then he enters into aging at that point. He wasn't aging before then. He was eternal. So once Adam starts aging and heading towards death, that's when the timeline starts. Okay? Because Adam wasn't technically born. He was created. So to me, I'm like, there's an argument. Because, you know, the Bible says a day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is like a day. So when God created the earth in 6 days, well, that could have been 6,000 years or more. Like, it's not. So listen, but ultimately, what does it matter? You know, it doesn't ultimately matter that much. Except for the fact, like, there's no such thing as macro evolution, which is, you know, us coming from apes. That's insane. That's insane. So anyways, all right, I'm about to get into the next segment. Just want to answer a couple other questions if there is any more, but I'll get right into it. Linda, yes, I've heard of the Mandela effect, but the Bible hasn't completely changed. Some translations have, but you can always go back to the original. So, all right. Okay, let's get back into the main show. You know, I love the chat, guys. You know, I always love the chat, and you guys give me lots of stuff. You guys always give me lots to think of and lots to talk about. Okay, but let's keep going in the show. Marjorie's showing off her Drew. Yep, she is. All right. I want to talk about the updates for the midterms and what's going on with the Supreme Court. So let's get into that. All right. So please, before we get started on this, guys, if you don't mind, take a sec, like and subscribe. As I take a little swig of my delicious, what is this? Filtered water. Strawberry flavored. Okay, we got huge news again yesterday. Thank you, courts. This is a U.S. Court of Appeals, but the Supreme Court is doing stuff as well. But U.S. Supreme Court of Appeals unanimously removed a block on Mississippi redrawing their maps to redraw a race-based district. So it's gone now, and they can kick out the blue. Thanks to the VRA being struck down, this is more seats being added. Democrats, of course, freaking out. Very sad. This keeps going on for them. And now we are on track from the VRA decision to maybe add up to 10 seats. The reason is we also got the Supreme Court vacating the Alabama District Court, requiring the state to draw 2 majority black districts, 6-3 vote. Now Alabama could get to 6-1 or maybe even 7-0. So the winning continues. It's getting harder by the day for the Democrats to win the midterms, especially once Trump ends Iran and we start seeing the improvements of the economy, gas going back down. I mean, you know, I say this so often, the whole case, but I'll bring it up in a second here. But right now, the other bad news today, a poll came out showing the Dems' lead is much smaller than it's been. Now, again, polls, one at a time, can be used to psyop, okay? They can be used against us. Never trust a poll by itself, all right? And I want to continually affirm that. I use polls for a different reason. I use polls to show trends because the polls generally don't lie about trends. So when they're all starting to go in a certain direction, they are telling us something. It doesn't mean the numbers themselves are true, but the trend is what you can generally trust. Now listen to this. This is Harry Enton, my favorite New York Jew. Oh, guys, look at what they're doing. CNN poll. My voice is a little off today. I can't do my Harry impression as good. But here's Harry breaking down for us what's going on with the Dems.
You would have thought that the Democrats' lead would expand on the generic congressional ballot. It didn't happen. Look, in March, Democrats are up by 6 points. Look at this now. Democrats are up by 3 points, and I want you to note the yellow lettering. No clear leader. It is within the margin of error. So despite all of the talk about Donald Trump's unpopularity, the fact is Republicans very much remain in the game when it comes to the congressional midterms, which are occurring in what, 6 or 7 months at this point?
Yes, and don't call me Shirley. So a lead of 3 points in the generic ballot test here. Does that get the job done?
No, it might not actually get the job done. And I love any reference to airplane, I will say, and Leslie Nielsen. Look at this. Okay, take a look here. Democrats in the National House vote margin. According to my estimate, what they need for control with redistricting in terms of the national popular vote is somewhere of a win between 3 and 4 points. What's CNN's current poll with no clear leader? It's a 3-point advantage. If this were, in fact, the actual result come Election Day, the race for Congress, the race for the House, would be basically a toss-up. And that is why the redistricting efforts that have been happening are so important. Because before the redistricting happened, Democrats essentially just needed to win the National House popular vote in order to win control of the House of Representatives. But now, with the redistricting, their ladder, they have to climb ever higher, and a 3-point win may very well not do it. This is well within the realm of possibilities. Could be Democrats take back the House. You know, if Democrats outperform the CNN poll by a few points, they take it back. But they could underperform as well, and that would be big-time trouble. As I said at the start here, this game is most certainly not over. Republicans very much in the race.
Yep, exactly. So 3 points. This is terrifying for Democrats. Now, there's another poll out there, an Atlas Intel poll, that has Democrats up by 14 points. Dude, just laugh at that and move on. In that poll, it has Democrats ahead by 14 points, and yet 30% of black people saying they're going to vote Republican. Dude, if 30% of black people vote Republican, Democrats lose by 7 to 8 points. That's insane. There's no way that poll is real. So disregard stupid stuff like that. That's why you got to actually watch the breakdown. But this recent poll from CNN, the trend has been this way in almost every other poll, that the Republicans are coming back. And that's with Trump at his most unpopular. That's with us the deepest into Iran, with the gas prices the highest. People are waking up again. We had a little bit where the middle America, the wishy-washies, were like, maybe it would be better if the Democrats came back, or really mad at Trump. But they're starting to wake up again and be like, my God, what am I saying? These Democrats are insane people. And that's all we need to win. Just people to remember why they voted for Trump in the first place. And guys, right now, what this is saying is it is exactly 100% a 50-50 race right now. And that is without Iran being over, gas prices going down, the patriotism that's going to go over for the whole summer for the 250th anniversary of our country, July 4th, baby, big 250. We're going to have that. We're going to have the World Cup. I mean, come on. We're going to have a Republican convention in September for the midterms, which the Democrats probably can't afford to do because the Republicans have way more money. Way more. We got the redistricting advantage. It is looking really bad. So I told somebody the other day, they were asking me on about odds. I think it was like 6-1 odds right now he could get for the Republicans winning the midterms. And he was like, if I put in 100, I get 590. I said, listen, I'm not telling you to bet, but those odds are great. Because worst case scenario, you're out $100. Best case scenario, you make 600. That's crazy good odds based on what I'm seeing. Because as of right now, I actually feel like we're going to win the midterms. And the Senate, I feel, is a lock. The House is the one I'm 50-50 on, 60-50. But now I feel even more confident because when you look ahead, it's all lining up. And this is why Obama is in Canada with Mark Carney, because they know it too. They are terrified, and they're trying to decide what's the next point of our plan because we're getting reamed right now. Democrats, in their desperation, they finally fixed their spelling. Look at this. They spelled Virginia right this time as they're appealing to the Supreme Court. The problem is they sent their emergency application to the wrong court. Democrats are clever, but they're not smart. This is crazy. We saw the other day they misspelled Virginia, and they misspelled another word as well. I can't remember which one it was. But 2 misspellings in an official filing, and now they can't even get it to the right court. These people have no business being in charge of government in Virginia. We have Stacey Abrams, who is well known for almost turning Georgia blue with her governorship race, who started the ballot harvesting in Georgia, major contributor to Democrat fraud in elections, leader of Democrat fraud in elections, kind of taught a lot of them how to do it. She's now being subpoenaed for the Georgia Senate campaign finance violations. This is huge. Stacey Abrams, man, if she goes down, that is a major shot to the Democrats. And again, just the bad news keeps piling up for them. And also, without her apparatus helping in the midterms, that's going to be huge as well. Next, looking ahead, future elections, Trump finally gave us some insight into Rubio and Vance. And I thought this was fascinating. Listen to what Trump's thinking about the future. This is for the Vance versus Rubio fight. Who's going to win?
So we got a lot of beauties out there, JD. I envy you and other people. I don't know. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be JD? Is it going to be somebody else? I don't know. Does anybody have? Okay, let's go. You ready? Who likes JD Vance? Who likes Marco Rubio? All right.
No shouts for Rubio.
Sounds like a good ticket. JD, that was a perfect ticket. By the way, I do believe that's a dream team, but these are minor details. That does not mean you have my endorsement under any circumstance. But, it's there was a big and then a very nice. I think it sounds like presidential candidate and vice presidential candidate. President of the Federal Law Enforcement.
Did you hear what he just said? He just told us what's happening, guys. I don't know who needs to hear it. There is no fight between Rubio and Vance. They're running together. Trump literally just told us. He said Vance, Rubio, dream team, dream ticket. So Trump's telling him exactly what he plans on happening, exactly what he's rooting for. Now, he didn't say which one is which, okay? It would be Vance Rubio, I guarantee it. The only wild card is, does Vance choose to run? Because he's about to have another baby, and he might want to take some time off. That's the only wild card. If it goes in right now, as of today, it would be Vance Rubio. And I still have a feeling it's going to be Vance Rubio, and I think they're going to win a landslide. I think it's going to be a huge, absolute major landslide. And I don't think we could have had, other than Trump in recent years, I just don't think we could have a better ticket than this. I really don't. There's no one in the Republican Party I could see being better. And you put them together, they're best friends. Rubio's already said he won't run against Vance. So if Vance runs, he's the president. I'm telling you that right now. Market 8. Market 8, dude. It's happening. And after that, who knows? Maybe Rubio wants to go up to president, maybe not. I don't know. But I'm telling you, these guys get in, it's going to be 8 years. 8 years. Guaranteed. Which means from 24 all the way to 36, because 4 plus 8, 12 years in a row, MAGA. And after that, guys, with these guys running things, with our Senate getting redder and redder, our country getting redder and redder, which also means Supreme Court's getting redder and redder, you add all that together, and they keep doing what Trump's doing, which is the America First economic policies, making us a sovereign nation. You have everything you need to see for 20, 25, 30 years. I don't know. I mean, I'm getting crazy here, but I legitimately believe we might get 20 straight years of MAGA running this show. I really do. And that's not hyperbole. That's me looking at demographics and trends. We are in a seismic shift of history right now. Seismic. This is going to be a few year period written about in history. When you come out of a seismic shift, things are different. We don't go to the status quo again. We don't go back to their turn, your turn, their turn, your turn. We don't do that. When you win in the time of a seismic shift, you stay winner for a while. And that goes back all the way through history. You can look back at kings, dynasties. You can look back at our politics. We're in a seismic shift time. And it's going to last. And Trump just told us what he's thinking. And his whole thing about not endorsing, that's a joke. That's just to keep him on edge. You better believe it. Now, Bongino, to close this, I thought this was interesting because he just said the other day on a show exactly what I've been telling you guys. And so I wanted to play this clip so you can hear it from the mouth of somebody much more influential than me. But let's be honest, I said it first. Here's Dan.
Donald Trump is like historically unpopular. This is just a media myth to get you to believe and that it's not worth your vote. You shouldn't show up for the midterms. Your party is finished. None of that stuff is actually true. The Democrats are losing their mind in their maximum warfare mode. Donald Trump is fighting back, cleaning up their mess. He's a year in. He's tightened up the entire government. I got a whole bunch of things that are happening from the Nothing is Happening file coming up in a minute to give you some positive news. But the polls don't say that about Donald Trump at all. That's not what they say at all. Here's a Fox News pollster on the Laura Ingraham show saying exactly the opposite, that Donald Trump's actually doing pretty well considering it's a second term. Usually by then, there's presidential fatigue for anyone at that point. He's actually doing pretty good right now. Check this out.
Midterms are all.
I played this clip the other day, but what Dan's saying is absolutely true. Okay, we are under a crazy psyop right now to convince us we're wrong, convince us Trump is failing, convince us no one likes Trump anymore, convince us the Democrats are somehow a reasonable solution on the other side, convince us we're going to lose the midterms so we don't show up. Again, it's all the blackpilling dooming. Okay, it's all to discourage us to not win. And I get criticized here sometimes that me being positive is going to get people not to vote. No, why do the black pillars, why do all the grifters, whether it's Marjorie Taylor Greene, Massie, Tucker, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, Dave Smith, blah, 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 Robert Barnes, Rich Bears, whether you go down the list, why are they the ones all trying to blackpill us that Trump is somehow owned by Israel and it doesn't matter, your vote doesn't matter, and we need an America first like Thomas Massie? And why are they always trying to replace that? Why are they always trying to convince us that Trump is failing? Every time you hear Trump is failing, dude, he hasn't even had 2 years of this term yet. How could he possibly be failing? The report card is not due. He hasn't taken the finals yet. How can you be failing at the beginning of your term? That's insanity. But that's what they want you to believe. And notice they all use the same tool. It's always blackpilling. Always. Every single time. So for those who criticize me for being positive, guess who's also positive? President Trump, our leader. Charlie Kirk was positive. I learned from the best. Rush Limbaugh was positive. Dan Bongino is positive. Steven Crowder. Like, I go through the guys who actually seem to be fighting for our country, and they are positive. They're all positive. And that's what gets people to show up. That's how Trump won 2016. That's how he won 2024. He cast a positive vision of winning, not failure. Anytime you're doomed into thinking we're going to lose, but you need to show up because if you don't show up, we're really going to lose. Is that inspiring you? Is that inspiring you? Does it inspire you if it's like Democrats are probably going to win in a landslide, so we got to show up? Does that inspire you? I don't know. There might be a good movie out that day. I'm just saying, like, that doesn't inspire anybody. What inspires you is if you show up, we win. If you show up, this guy's getting in. If you show up, this woman, this MAGA chick is winning. Huge. If you show up, we're done. We win it. That is what Trump says. That's what I say. That's what's going to win. Because we're already winning and we want to keep it moving. And thank God. You know why the blackpilling is not working on our movement? It pulls out some people. But you know why it's not working overall? Is because our leader, the one guy who actually is the leader of MAGA, who's the true MAGA, which is Donald J. Trump, along with his team, J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, Susie Wiles, Tulsi Gabbard, you go down the list. Every single one of them is positive. Every single one of them doesn't make excuses. Every single one of them just, we go, we win. We are bringing America back. That inspires. That is why we're going to win, because they're the leaders. And MAGA represents its leaders, and we know it. And thank God for them for never caving so there'd be a crack where the blackpilling could get in. That, my friends, is one of the great wins, honestly, of it, is that Trump has trained us so well that even people who don't pay that much attention who are MAGA have learned how to navigate the psyops by just tuning them out. And that's a massive win. And it's why we're going to win the midterms. I really feel like we are. Okay. Please take a second, if you don't mind, smash that like, smash that subscribe, and please support the channel. Again, as always, if you want to support the channel for realsies, get in the membership. You get access to the Discord group, 24/7 chat. It's awesome, as well as members content, and I'll be building out more classes here for that, and so on and so forth as well. So, excuse me. Okay, let me get into the chat here for a minute. See what I missed. You just never know. Again, if you really want to get my attention, guys, please tag me. Okay, it's sometimes hard to see if I'm not tagged, and if I still miss you, the one way to be guaranteed is a super chat. So just letting you guys know, not asking for your money, but just being real. Okay, there's a lot of chat sometimes, and I can miss stuff, but the super chats I can always see. Okay, Smoke says I'll never understand why Trump didn't have Palin. She was rock solid. Palin has a lot of controversy. Excuse me. And she had a bad divorce. I think by the time Trump came along, Palin was MAGA, but she was also, I think she was damaged goods politically by that point, and so it just wouldn't have been helpful. That's what I think about. That's why I think that he didn't use her. Doridio, member for new month, Mega Asol Kofefi says, thank you so much and glad to have you as a member. Appreciate you joining. Okay. Let me see here. I saw a lot of people talking about Rubio and Vance. And so let me just break down my opinion on this. I'm a Vance guy, and it's not that I don't like Rubio. I actually think he'd be a great president. I think Vance has something Rubio doesn't. Rubio might be better at negotiations. He might be better at diplomacy. He might even be better at whipping up the Senate. Okay, there's all those things might be true, and I think they possibly are true. Rubio is undoubtedly more experienced than Vance. But here's the thing with Vance. Okay, Rubio was raised. He's a Cuban. Okay, he came from Cuban immigrants. His parents. He's fully American, but he's Cuban descent, and which means he's very Reagan Republican. And because he was such a Reagan Republican, Rubio grew up and was a hardcore neocon. Hardcore. I'm not saying he was in with the club, but he believed in that neocon kind of warmongering. Okay. And you go back in the tens and the teens, and you see Rubio back then, and it's obvious. And then on top of that, Rubio also, because of his Latin descent, is he was for an amnesty bill. Now, do I think he's for those things now? No, I don't. But when push comes to shove, and under pressure, you never know which way could turn. All right. And in Rubio, I could see slipping up and making a mistake. Do I think that's 100% chance? No. But do I think it's possible? Yeah, I do. Rubio has flirted with the establishment wing of the Republican Party, especially when he was hungry to be president in 2016. Vance, on the other hand, came out of obscurity, a horrible upbringing, real man of the people. Yes, he went to Harvard because of scholarships, and yes, he worked for Peter Thiel, and there's all kinds of nonsense about that because people just connect dots that really aren't there to connect. It's just association, guilt by association, and there's nothing else there. But listen, I get all that. I do. I've researched it extensively. I just don't see any evidence that it's something to be worried about. Vance, in my opinion, is more statesman-like than Rubio. I think he holds a crowd better. I think he knows how to communicate the vision of MAGA better than Rubio does. I think Rubio is tough as nails. And if I'm in a fight, I want Rubio, which that's why he's a perfect VP, because he's going to be right there. And you better believe Vance will lean on Rubio a lot if they're together. They're best friends. But I think Vance is better to get up there and start healing the country after Trump. And that it's not that Trump broke apart the country. Not at all. That was Bush, Obama, Biden. That's been a psyop going on for decades to divide our country. Trump he came in when it was divided, and instead of trying to play the game of like false unity, he just said this other side's so bad we have to defeat them. So that has not increased the division. It actually has unified a little bit as more and more people come to the side of the winners and the common sense. But what it did do is completely turn off people who don't want the fight. Vance speaks very well in a unifying way. And I think Vance, as a statesman, would be a better representative for our government to try to heal parts of the nation that can be healed. Obviously, it can't all be. But that would be the perfect to take us forward. That's my personal opinion. You are welcome to disagree with me. I'm not going to argue it. I have my opinion on this. I definitely done my research. So you guys, take with it what you will. But that's where I'm at on the whole thing. AZ196823 with the $5 super chat says, no black pilling here. Where we go on, where we go all. That's awesome. I completely agree with you on that. So very, very good. Let's see. I don't think Vance voiced his opinion being at odds with Trump. I think he supported Trump, and there was reports, but I didn't hear him actually say that. So, Katie, I am so in for the next inauguration. Are you kidding me? I'm in. Let's go. That would be awesome. The last one was incredible. So incredible. Let's see. Peter says, peace and prosperity for decades. REF, Fuentes hates Trump's Iran war, but Fuentes ignorant of the work of Promethean Update London is a problem. I completely agree with you. Jade says, once DJT proved he wasn't BSing us and got stuff done, things other GOP said to be elected but never got around to doing, he won me over. Dude, I can't tell you, I can't agree with you enough. One of the so I have a lot of my audience is new, so they might not know the story, even though I've said it probably 10 times in my 3 years. But I have a weird relationship with Trump. That's how it started. I was a Rubio guy. I was going to vote for Rubio in the 2016 primaries in Texas. I thought Trump was hilarious, but I didn't take him seriously, and I didn't think he could be president. And then I was praying one day, and in one of the few obvious hear voice from God encounters I've had in my life, I literally heard God say that Trump was going to be president. He was going to bring in a golden age. And I was like, what? That's crazy. So I wrote it down. And after that, I really felt like I knew for sure Trump was going to win. And of course he did, against all odds. I actually won some bets too. I don't know if that was very Christian of me to take advantage of my word from God to win some bets, but I did. It was just too easy. If people thought Hillary was going to win by so much. Sorry, Jesus. Anyways, but after that, because of that, once Trump got in, it was just like you said, all these things the Republicans for years said they would do and couldn't do and always had excuses. Trump just did them. And that's even in the first term, which was much less awesome than this term. And I was just won over. I was like, oh my God, everything I heard was right. And then in 2020 happened, and it was shocking to me, but I knew that he was coming back because of that word. And so in 2024, obviously he did. And so, but yeah, man, I completely agree with you. Similar thing. Holy Smoke says Peter Thiel was the first tech billionaire to endorse Trump in 2015. He was a tech big time. 100%. This is one of my arguments for why Peter Thiel is not the evil man that so many think he was. He was first on the Trump train. And of course, it would make sense that assets like Whitney Webb would go attack Peter Thiel afterwards. So that's what I see with that. Rumdog says, totally agree. I worked for Disney in 84. It doesn't make me a woke idiot. 100%. Absolutely. Teslin says, how blessed are we to have JD and Marco? 100%, man. Paxton 28, never in a million years. I love Ken Paxton. I love his fighting as Attorney General. I love him on the legal front. I love his policy. I think he's MAGA. His personal life is a disaster, and he will never become president as a result. So I just don't see it happening. Cruel World says, what do I think about DeSantis and leave Rubio Secretary of State? Never going to happen. Trump won't endorse DeSantis. He never trust him again to be president. DeSantis betrayed Trump when he ran in the 24 primary. DeSantis, after winning Florida by 20 points in 2022, got a full head of himself. And the establishment Republicans, the Bush wing of the Republicans, McConnell and Ryan, so on and so forth, went to DeSantis and convinced him to run. They said, Trump's done. He's dead in the water. He's toxic. We need you. And DeSantis bit, and he believed it. He believed everything they spewed to him. And so he ran thinking he would truly go beat Trump. And he got his butt whipped. And Trump, I don't think will ever give him power like that again. Now, Trump, I think him and DeSantis kind of mended. So I could see DeSantis getting a role in the administration. I could see him being appointed maybe Supreme Court. But as far as running for president, never. And MAGA's not going to trust DeSantis enough for him to scale through the primaries. I think DeSantis actually hurts Vance in the primaries. And so I just, they would win still, but it wouldn't be with as much enthusiasm as Vance and Rubio. So I just don't think, I don't see that happening. Welcome to the positive channel. Amen, sir. Kev says, I actually audibly hear God's voice was in my head. I heard it clear as day. I couldn't tell you if it was audible or not. So, but I heard it. And I've held to that word ever since. And I've been proven right, you know. Well, I've been proven right. I've been proven right for trusting it. I'll say that. Cleanup says, I don't understand. Oregon, we only have one judge to choose from. You'd think there'd be some more competition. Doesn't keep judges in check. Interesting. I don't know how you guys work over there, but a lot of states have weird policies like that for sure. Whitney Webb's voice is an instrument of torture. No comment. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. She is, listen, Whitney Webb's an asset. She is used to blackpill everybody that there's no hope, that the tech bros are going to win no matter what, that the tech bros run Trump. They own Vance. They own Trump, that we've lost. There's just no winning. And all you can do is basically, you know, try to do something. They act like there's hope. They always do something that's like impossible to do. If this happens, we'll be okay. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, Whitney Webb she does a lot of good information, but then she fits into that a lot of trust me bro crap. And that's how you do a psyop really well. And there's a lot of people who believe her as a result. A lot of people. So I'm not a prophet, but that's interesting. God can speak to all of us, you know. He can speak to anybody. Just gotta be listening. Let's see. Anything else here real quick? Yeah, I think Trump has made nice with DeSantis, but not enough to have him run. Not enough to endorse him for president or on a ticket. So, yeah, it's going to be Vance or Rubio, and I believe they're going to do an excellent job carrying on. Any thoughts on Marty Makary resigning? Apparently, Makary was sabotaging Maha from within and got busted. So that's all you need to know. I mean, I think that's a good thing. Trump called him out the other day, and so now he's resigned. So that's good. That's good. Okay, let's get into here, guys. I got one more segment on Iran to do, and then I got something really short about the Fed, and then I'll get back in, and we'll finish up the show in the chat. So, okay, big news on Iran today, been breaking as Trump goes to China. It's coming out that the U.S. was getting ready to launch another round of strikes against Iran, which makes sense based on everything Trump's been saying. But the officials paused to give them one more chance at diplomacy. Now, this makes perfect sense when you think about the fact that Trump just got the response and he was furious, as I covered yesterday. He was furious about it, and I really believe now that was the final straw. The final straw for Iran. Trump has tried and tried and tried. Now, there's also the attempt to get the protesters to rise up, get them weapons so they can overthrow. We might not have time for that now, and it does sound like things are about to ramp up. Trump's currently in China, meeting with Xi. They're going to hash out something, trade deals, maybe talk about oil, maybe putting pressure on Iran together. Whatever it is, I know Trump's going to use all his leverage to get the most out of China, which is going to be bad for Iran ultimately. So when Trump comes back, though, don't be surprised if by this weekend we're unleashing on Iran again. Now, it's already started with other countries. Look at this. So UAE was attacked by Iran the other day. They attacked their pipeline. Well, UAE is not holding back. They are now invading Iran from within. After Iran bombarded them, UAE responded with full FAFO activated. Emirati forces have been carrying out direct military attacks on Iranian territory for several days now. Is Trump allowing the Gulf states to end Iran? That might be what's happening. This is confirmed by Fox. Here's a quick clip.
Reporting from the Wall Street Journal that forces from the United Arab Emirates are carrying out military strikes inside Iran. Fox is told that the UAE forces are directly engaged inside the Islamic Republic and have been for several days. This comes after Iran launched dozens of missiles and drones at the UAE during the conflict.
Now, again, this is best case scenario, that either the people rise up or the Gulf states take care of it themselves. If they're already engaged, this tells me this might be a ramp up, and they're starting it, and hopefully maybe Saudi Arabia joins in, maybe Israel starts again, and then we finish the job. This all plays into my theory that Trump is trying to get the whole Iran thing done by the end of May. That way he has a full month to ramp up and focus more domestically, building up to July 4th. That sounds to me like that's where we want to be. That just makes sense. I could be wrong. Trump obviously has a lot more intel than I do, but as an outsider looking in, as somebody who studied Trump, knows Trump pretty well, this is exactly what it looks like is happening. And you better believe that UAE did not start attacking Iran without letting the U.S. know about it. So I got to believe this is all part of an end game that they're building up to. Now, with what's going on in Iran, we just got this very interesting drop from Fox News about Venezuela, whereas the U.S. has just removed all enriched uranium from Venezuela, shipping the materials to South Carolina in a major nuclear security op. Very interesting timing on that. So the Department of Energy announced this. Trump is securing the uranium the deep state intended to hold the world hostage with. Venezuela might have been one of the ones supplying it. So we're going to be able to track it all now. We're going to be able to look into it, all this. I guarantee you they're studying it, but we're collecting this. And soon we're going to see a story like this from Iran. But isn't that interesting that Venezuela, not only did we defeat them so quickly, get that oil flowing again, but now we've gotten that out of there. Trump really is doing the cleanup worldwide, setting us up for a much more powerful, peaceful few decades ahead of us, and I absolutely think that's coming to happen. So, but along with this, we have the Iran's war's effects on other countries. So India now is saying, serious warning, the country only has 60 days of crude oil reserves, 60 days of natural gas supplies, and 45 days of LPG reserves remaining. So the countries around the world, China, India, some of our best competitors, or I should say greatest competitors, and India obviously is a proxy state of City of London. Okay, let's be honest. Gandhi not eating didn't get London completely out of there. All right. Unless, I mean, hey, it was a good movie, but he just, dude, you can starve. It's fine. But anyways, this is a good thing, because when you get the pressure on all these other places, whether it's Europe, India, China, these big, powerful countries, they're going to start putting pressure on Iran because they can't stop the U.S. So as that pressure comes on Iran, that hurts their economy more, and they get more and more pigeonholed, which is going to end up winning, like helping us win more. Now, this is a great little breakdown here. China and India are digging into reserves. Asian countries suspending travel. EU, with its asinine energy policy, might just flat out collapse. African militias will return from Toyotas to walking on 2 feet as the ghost of the machine takes a third world first. Fertilizer shortages will eat their crops, leaving them starving. If the U.S. keeps the pressure on, every unfriendly government will have no choice but to bend the knee. We are the dominant oil producer now. We're the dominant food exporter. Your tanks empty, your fields barren. Welcome to the era of hard power wielded effectively. 100%. And what this also says here, guys, is that Iran really was the key to all of this. Who knew? Trump knew. The rest of us didn't. We were all told forever that if you go into Iran, Russia and China are going to attack us, it's World War III. It's the end times. Gog and Magog, and Iran is the key. It's going to trigger the end times. No, that's crazy talk. And of course it didn't happen, because we found out China's a paper tiger and Russia is trying to become an ally of ours. That's just not happening, because City of London's the real bad guy. They're the real one world government attempt that is failing and being destroyed. But Iran really is the key. Isn't that incredible? It's the key for us to assert our dominance, as not only are we the lone superpower now, which we have been, but we're like so far above every other country now, it's not even close. Like all that nonsense we were fed, spoon-fed, China's going to be amazing, China's going to catch us, China's not that far behind us, for decades. And all the other stuff, like EU's our friend, England, these are our allies, special relationship with England. All of it, fraudulent. Iran is exposing all of it, and it's defeating all of them at the same time. This Iran operation is going to go down as one of the greatest military operations of all time, one of the most ingenious, and one of the most important. All at once. That's what history is going to reflect upon it. And we're living in real time. And it's hard. It's hard to discern everything in real time until you actually look at what's happening. When you actually get the receipts, you see what's happening, like here with India, China, so on and so forth, EU, and you say, oh, now I know why Trump went in there. Huh. Yeah, okay, our gas prices are up. That sucks. Don't get me wrong. That sucks. But that's not because we don't have the oil. It's because we don't have the refineries for our oil. Thank you, environmentalists. Thank you, Obama. Thanks, Obama. Thanks, Clinton. Thanks, Bush, even. Thanks, Biden. That's why we don't have what we need. But we build more refineries, and eventually we'll be 100% energy independent. We won't have to import anymore. We can do this. We can do all of this. It's very possible because we right now export more oil than the next 2 countries combined. We are the energy superpower. We're the military superpower. We're the economic superpower. We're the energy superpower. That's a trifecta that cannot be beat. And Iran proved it. Iran changed that, while also exposing all the geopolitical psyops we've been believing for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. It's incredible what we're living through. And it proves to me that Iran is well worth it. And when Iran's done, because of this new dominance, because of the new way of seeing the world, because of the opening of our eyes, and because of the energy dominance, once Iran is done, that is the key to open up the floodgates of prosperity into this country. Because now it's not that the job's done. There's still a lot of cleanup to do. There's still a lot of crap we got to do here. We still got deep staters that are not going to give up easy. But they're going to be so broken after Iran that the cleanup part is just going to take willpower, and then it'll be done. The only hope they have after this is that Trump slows down or gives up. And I don't think he's going to do either. Iran's the key, and we're about to see incredible, incredible things. The world is completely different, and it's only getting better from here. So, all right, guys, if you don't mind, hit that like and subscribe real quick. I'm going to do a real quick little thing here before I get into the chat, and then we'll I'll spend some time with you. All right, the last thing I want to share today is that Kevin Warsh just got passed into the be the new Fed chair. This is big, and it's not going to get as much press as other stuff. It's not, a lot of people aren't going to understand this, but this is the beginning of the end of the Fed. Let me explain. Kevin Warsh is a fundamental contrarian to how the Fed's been acting. He believes the Fed has been wrong in much of its policy for the last 20, 30 years. He's going to come in, and he doesn't believe in money printing in bad times. He doesn't believe in wielding the interest rates the same way the Fed's been doing. He believes inflation is counted wrong, which it is. And it's counted in a way to psyop us. Okay. He believes let me give you an example. CPI came in hot today. Inflation's up. Well, prices are up because of oil and energy. But prices being up is not inflation. Inflation means there's more dollars available, so prices have to go up, and permanently. That's what inflation is. It means dollar supply is up because of money printing. That's how you get inflation. Well, we haven't been printing any money. The Fed, the Treasury has not been printing. So we can't have more inflation right now, except at a very minimal level. So you have to count price increases differently. That's how he sees it. He understands the difference between market forces making prices go up and down versus inflation. And Kevin is, he's coming in here with this new mindset. And I believe he understands the financial system much better, away from the central bank being overly influenced. So what he's going to do is he's going to get in there and he's going to start weakening the Fed through different policies. This is going to be huge for us because you can't just get rid of the Fed overnight. It doesn't happen. Trump can't announce it. It has to be through the Senate. That's going to take time. But what you can do is significantly cut back its influence in the economy while also using the power it has to propel the current economic policies of President Trump and MAGA. So this is a big deal. Jerome Powell is done on Friday. Kevin Warsh will get in. And then Powell is going to stay on the board, so he might try to cause some trouble. We'll see. But this is big, and this guy's awesome. Trump pulling this guy is amazing. So I cannot wait to see how things change with him in. Now, X22 report broke this down really well, so I wanted to share this because there are a lot of people who don't understand why some things take time. He says you don't go after the Federal Reserve until you bring manufacturing back. Check. It's not all the way back yet, but it's in process. Give it a couple more years, it's going to be strong. You don't go after them until you have the income system built. Working on it. Until you secure the gold. Interesting. What about the gold? You guys know that they were Trump was having tons of gold brought in from other countries starting last year. You don't go after them parallel economies established. In other words, the Main Street economy, the real economy versus the financial sector economy, which has been running our country. You get this back going, and once that's strong, you can let this topple. Trump's been checking every single box. Fed's days are numbered, but timing has to be right, 100%. And it's going to take time. This might not happen on Trump's watch. He just might be the one who lays the foundation, and then it happens in the next president. I don't know. I can't foresee the future, but I can tell you everything he's doing looks like we're heading in this direction. So that to me, guys, is very, very good news. All right. Please hit the like, hit the subscribe. Let me get into the chat to finish out here today. Thoughtcast on Rumble. Good afternoon to you. Thanks for stopping in. All right, let's see here. Peter, the senator I talked about yesterday is Bernie Moreno from Ohio. He's great. He's one of our new senators, and you should check it out. Sierra says, I think people think inflation goes up because of gas prices. Well, not only do they think it goes up because of gas prices, they also, our government numbers say it do because it's priced in. Our government numbers are lying to us. They're not really about inflation. They're about cost of living. But they call it, inflation. They call it an index for measuring inflation. It's wrong. It's wrong. But, yeah, so there is a difference, but there's a reason people think that oil's tied to that because the government says it. All right, anything else? Mary Lynn says, new to this channel, and I love it. Thank you, Mary. Tell your friends. Let everybody join in on the big party. Every day, Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon is the new time. I will be here at noon. Unless I tell you guys ahead of time, I have to make a change, but for the most part, I will be here on noon, and you guys can mark it as your date on YouTube. Oh, is X22 back on YouTube? Good. Steve says we won't have a CBDC, but we'll most likely have digital currency. Yeah, but you know what? And I think you're right. We will probably have a digital currency, although I don't think we'll ever 100% get rid of cash. But that digital currency, I believe, will be blockchained, and it'll be fine. We won't have to worry about it. So we'll see how it goes. I'm very hopeful about it, honestly. I know X22 has gotten himself real excited a couple times, Jay. He's gotten a little ahead of the game a couple times, but I think his overall direction is good, and I think he's a good dude. But yeah, I think he jumps ahead too quick sometimes. Badass Video says this news is crazy. It's just crazy. My God, are you trolling or are you for real? Linda Snyder, new to the chat, but been watching a few months. Welcome, Linda. Glad you alerted us. That's awesome. Real inflation's up around 3,000% overall. You mean like since it was tracked 100 years ago? Yeah, I'd agree with that, but definitely not in the last couple months or years. Let's see. Thank you, Gen X. I appreciate you. John Michael Chambers, huh? Well, I'll check it out. I don't really like when people are like, this is all you need to know. This guy knows everything. I don't really like that approach, but I'll look into it. There's usually not, I'll tell you, there's never one person who knows it all. There's just not. And so that always kind of bugs me, but that idea, that kind of approach, but maybe that's not how you meant it. It just, context is hard without voice behind it. So sometimes the chat I do read wrong, and I apologize if I did. Well, Sierra, there's no real value to our dollars now, and it works. Just saying. Anything works as long as there's people accept it. That's all there is to it. That's any currency works as long as it's accepted by the people. That's all you gotta say. Maxwell Smooth says, new viewer here. Thanks for your optimism. I was first, second getting psyoped and happy I was right and trusting Trump. Amen and welcome. So glad you're here. Again, tell the people that you found an optimistic person, and I won't cut them down or make them, dooming. I won't tell people that the end is near. There's no point to that. There's just no point to it. Because you know what? If those people are right and the end really is near, I'll say that how do I put this? I'll say that it doesn't matter that I'm optimistic. Because if they're right, it's all going to go down bad anyways, right? So it's like, what does it matter if I'm wrong? So I might as well believe in a future. I might as well fight for a future, because in Proverbs it says a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. So we're supposed to be thinking. We're always supposed to be thinking 3 more generations ahead. Always. That's biblical. So if we're dooming and saying this is the end, then we're not thinking biblically, are we? We're just not. So I just have no time for that. I really don't. So I'm actually seeing a couple news things pop up. So I'm going to bring up a couple things as a bonus for those who stayed. But let me get some of this done here real quick. Okay, that might be it. There might just be a couple things. You just never know when news is going to pop up. When I used to do my show at night, I never had to worry about missing the news because everybody was asleep when I was on. So I already saw all the news. So, yeah, anyways, that's kind of tells you all you need to know, right? Oh, wait, okay, there it is. Let's see here. That's not how you meant it. Okay, Captain, I appreciate that then. See, I that's why I wanted to make sure I wasn't reading it the wrong way. Are Trump bills a replacement? I don't think so. I think that's just him having some fun, honestly. Thank you, Linda. Yeah, my background's lying to me. I know. I'm gonna have to get a new background. I haven't built one yet. Oh, thank you, John Savage. New listener for a few weeks now. Appreciate it. Awesome. Love it. I like thinking of it as the beginning is near too. I really do. I really do. Okay, couple things I just saw, which I want to share. So an appeals court had struck down Trump's 10% tariffs, but that was just struck down again by another court. So the tariffs are held up, the 10% tariffs he put on global. So again, see, it's just like I've been telling you guys. The only thing struck down were the tariffs he did a certain way. The rest of them were good. So that's just more proof of that. And then Trump had this to say today about Iran, which I thought was noteworthy.
I wouldn't say Iran is one of them, to be honest with you, because we have Iran very much under control. We're either going to make a deal or they're going to be decimated. So one way or the other, we win.
We're going to make a deal or they'll be decimated. So anyways, that's exactly what I thought we're headed. Just a couple interesting things to do. Let me see here. Anything else here? Use my intro banner for my background. I might. It works for the intro. So, I'll definitely pray. If I forgot yesterday, I'm sorry. I just getting used to the new time. I think I was overthinking yesterday a little bit. All right, guys. Well, hey, I got to get going. Z-Grams, you're hilarious. All right. Anyways, guys, please please subscribe. And there is a lot more coming on this channel. The show will only get better. The membership's going to get way better now that I have time. So just thank you guys for sticking it out. Thank you guys for starting with me before I was able to move to this slot and have a little more time on my hands. I really appreciate it. You guys are the absolute best. And so anyways, just hit that like, hit that subscribe, tell your friends about it, share it, all that stuff. And let's do what we've always done, is end in a prayer, because prayer works. It got us here. It saved our country. And God is good, man. God is good. So merch. Okay, I'll work on some merch. All right, Heavenly Father, thank you for today. God bless these amazing people watching. Be with each and every one of them, Lord, and just bless them in their lives. I pray, God, for our president, that you'd give him wisdom and boldness in every situation, but also protect him, his entire team, from all the attacks of the enemy. In Jesus' name, Lord, just make sure he sees it through. And Father, we believe, Lord, you always finish what you start. And you started a revolution here in America. You started a reformation and a revival. And so, God, I just ask that it's seen all the way through. Use each of us as you will. Stir us to do what you're asking us to do, so that we can each play our part and make sure we never go backwards again. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Love you guys. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you all tomorrow. God bless.
Headlines screaming like a siren at night.